backflipping out of the start gate. This place is erupting.
Saying hello to the new world champ, baby.
Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Fieberbrunn Pro. This is stop number 5 on the 2025 Freeride World Tour by Peak Performance, and you better buckle up your butts because it is crunch time, and we are here for the cut. We have a tricky face today, we have decent conditions, and we have a lot of riders feeling a lot of nerves. The nerves are absolutely jangling right now for crunch time. My name is Derek Foose. I'm here with Freeride World Tour competitor Hadley Hammer. We're ready to keep you up to date with all the action. Hadley, it's been a roller coaster so far.
It has been a roller coaster. Once again, we're starting a touch early, so the riders had to be quick to get ready, quick to inspect. They've just arrived, and yeah, now they have to prove that they can act on their feet.
All right, so we have a slight change in the format here today. We are only running 3 categories: ski women, snowboard women, and snowboard men. It's based on the conditions that we have on the Wildseeloder face, and here to do a deep dive into that is FWT Commissioner Lolo Bess.
The main reason why we decided to use only 3 categories tomorrow, it's first of all is safety. Starting last, the ski men will have already about 30 plus tracks, and we believe with those snow conditions it would be unsafe for those riders to sand as they will for a competition like here, which is the cut for the World Championship.
All right, well, Lolo did allude to the cut. Hadley, this is intense. The pressure cooker of this cut comp, even after 4, is so gnarly, and the riders are definitely feeling it.
Yeah, you can really see the athletes, you know, starting to get influenced about being below the line, and also the ones that are above just barely above the line. Like that one group is really, really nervous, and I think the key for them today is to stay true to themselves, ski what they can ski, and really just focus on having a good comp now.
Absolutely. Crunch time in Fieberbrunn, diving into it all the way. Take a look at what it means to these athletes.
Fieberbrunn. This isn't just another stop on the Freeride World Tour. It's the last chance to secure a spot for the grand finale. After 5 intense events, only 60% of the athletes will advance. For the rest, the journey ends here. Every turn, every drop, every landing counts. One mistake and the dream of riding with the world's best on Verbier's iconic Bec de Ross is gone.
No! The cut is everything. It's like, it's make or break.
The pressure is there. I have to do super well. I have to ski 100%.
The mountain doesn't care about rankings. It rewards commitment, confidence, and pure skill. And as the cut looms, only those who can handle the heat will survive. This is Freeride at its most ruthless.
Dun, dun, dun. Well, the cut is looming over everything. Hadley, you said it so perfectly just before. The riders that are able to just stick to their guns, to focus on today's comp, I think are the ones that are going to be successful. It's really interesting looking at the rankings right now, and we'll dive into that a little bit, but how close so many are above and below. We've got a bunch of like near ties in the field, so today really has an added layer of pressure on it.
Exactly. Today matters. You can tell the athletes feel that pressure. Again, it's not just another comp. This one feels more intense, more important, and
more everything.
More everything.
Here in Fieberbrunn. All right, well, let's look at the canvas that the riders are painting their brushstrokes on today. Slightly tricky conditions. Have a look here at the GoPro face preview.
As Derek said, here we are on the Wildseeloder, one of the longest running venues we have here on the Freeride World Tour. The top is at 2,000 meters. It's quite steep, and they've got nearly 600 meters of riding. Again, a pretty long venue for these riders with variable conditions, a lot of different options of style. You have cliffs, you have doubles, you have transfers. Again, it's a little low tide, and the athletes have to be really conscious of the variability in that snow.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of options. Some options that haven't even been in play in other seasons because they've been buried under the snowpack. There's a lot of exposed rock. There's also a lot of grass. It was really interesting, the riders, you know, looking through the binoculars and trying to make that distinction. Is that grass and I can just ski over it, or is that rock and it's going to catch me up? So the more powerful the binoculars you had to use for the face check, the better. Take a look here at our weather today, Hadley. Glorious.
It's glorious. You know, quite the difference from Georgia of how cold we were. It is spring break here in Austria, 1 degree, a touch of wind coming out, and blue sky all the way from here to Italy. It's going to be a beautiful day. The snow, again, there's some variability. There is some cold pow on that north aspect, and then some pretty springy-like snow once it gets more southeast.
Yeah, do you think the snow conditions are going to affect the way or the areas that the riders choose to go in? Because it is really distinctly different from side to side on this venue.
Exactly. The riders did get to see the forerunners go this morning and yesterday, and I think through those forerunners they're able to really identify where the snow changes. And again, that's a talent, another underappreciated talent here on the Freeride World Tour, is to be able to read snow at a distance.
Absolutely. The forerunners, they're completely critical for that. All right, we're going to take a look here at what these riders have to do. The judges on the Freeride World Tour have 5 criteria that they're working with: line control, technique, fluidity, and air and style. Line score is everything. The more difficult the line you ski, the higher your score will be. But you got to find your balance, because going too difficult definitely can lead to disaster. Control, well, this one's pretty self-explanatory. A fall is the ultimate loss of control. There are various levels: a hand down, a butt down, a back down, punch front, ski off results in a no score. Technique, that's how you're moving your skis or snowboard on the snow. Are you bending it, or are you just skidding around? A lot of good technique on the Freeride World Tour. Fluidity is not just speed, but your speed relative to the terrain you're in. If you're in something steep, rugged, and gnarly, and you're moving, good, fluidity stays high. It's the same with traversing. A long traverse, as long as it's to something, will not see a dock in fluidity. And then air in style, that's the big show. That's what we're all here to see. That's jumps, that's tricks, amplitude, the difficulty of the tricks, all of that factors into the air and style. You put those 5 together, you get a score out of 100, rank it against your friends, and see where you fall.
Exactly. I mean, it's not as simple as a ski race. You're not going through red and blue gates. It's really so many factors come into play here on the Freeride World Tour.
All right, well, this is our panel of judges. We have Commissioner Laurent Lolo-Best standing there in the background. Laurent Gauthier from Whistler. We've got new judge on the tour this year, Jacqueline Pollard, a former second-place finisher on this face, and Bertie Deneveau doing co-commissioner work, and Siobhan Chalice, Austrian judge who works with the Challenger Tour as the video judge today. So we are in very good hands. Those judges know exactly what they're looking for and what they're looking at. Stay with us. We're coming right back here with Ski Women. First category of the day is going to be ski women, and we are in the legendary Fieberbrunn, Austria. This place has been a fixture on the Freeride World Tour for as long as most people can remember. It is a spectacular backdrop, and the Wildseeloder has so many faces. We've seen all the masks it wears. This is the thinnest mask I think we've seen over the years, and just want to welcome a very special guest to the commentary booth for ski women. Andrew Pollard, Freeride World Tour legend, sitting here looking up. Your sister's in the judging pit. You're here in the commentary booth. We're really evolving.
Yeah, it's just a family affair out here in Fieberbrunn. It's actually pretty cool. This is the venue that's my sister.
All right, we're going to take a look here at our overall rankings right now, where Justine Dufour-Lapointe is holding down the lead with 23,120 points, but Austria Chelus and Molly Armanino are on the chase. As we move down, we see from Lena Kohler all the way through to Taylor Dobbins. That is where the cut is. Taylor right now is on the downhill side, but Arianna Tricomi just on the uphill side. So really between those two, whichever one kind of comes out on top today, or we can easily see clearly Elizabeth Gerritzen, world champion, Chloe Hehir. The possibilities of the way this can shake out today are almost infinite. But Hadley, the pressure is on some of these women that are sitting on the downhill side of the cut.
Exactly, like you said, technically speaking, anyone can move above the cut and make it. It'll be easier for some of the women, harder for some of the others, but it is not decided today.
All right, well, we have a very special guest joining us in...
So here we have the start list for today. Molly Armanino coming in first out of the gate, followed right behind her, her fellow American Britta Winans. We've got Nadine Wallner, a wild card who I used to compete with. Justine's right in the middle, our current leader, followed by Chloe Hehir, Elizabeth Gerritzen, and Lena Kohler. Further down, we have Taylor Dobbins, Astrid Chelus, and Jenna Keller. Again, all of these women are totally capable of getting on that podium, and all of them are capable of getting above that cut line.
All right, well, third time's a charm. A special welcome to Freeride World Tour legend Andrew Pollard joining us in the booth today to commentate on the ski women. It's an evolution of freeride having you in the booth. We're very stoked you're joining us.
Yeah, really excited to be here. This venue saved my career on tour. It was where I got my first result behind Marcus Etter, so really special spot. Really happy to be back here. Jacqueline's in the booth, so yeah, working for the tour today.
A family affair. All right, we're going to take a look at what you thought. The Peak Performance Fun Bet fan favorites. Peak Performance Fun Bet is fantasy freeride. This is your opportunity to get some skin in the game and tell us what you think. 82% of you locking in that Astrid Chelus will land on the podium. 80% feeling the same way about Justine Dufour-Lapointe, and 41% on Zuzanna Witych, fresh off a win from Georgia. So the Peak Performance, if you notice those numbers don't add up to 100, that's okay, because it's voting for the top 3. Make sure you log on before these events and put your fix in. It's so fun to have a little bit of involvement. There's leagues you can join, and there's huge prizes at the end of the season for the Peak Performance Fun Bet. As we zoom in on the top of the Wildseeloder, ski women are dropping first, and the nerves are jangling up there. Andrew, the cut is so gnarly. This comp always has that added layer of pressure. You know, what are these ladies feeling up there?
Yeah, I mean, the cut's the hardest part of being on tour. You spend years and years on the qualifiers trying to make it onto the tour, and then eventually you got to cut it down again for the next season, and it's a hard time to be because you want to push it hard. You don't want to push it too hard. Everyone's kind of got a different strategy going into this comp based on their points for the season, so it's going to be interesting to see how it all shakes down.
Absolutely. So we had a very special guest forerunner this morning, Max Hitzig. He was injured for the season, so withdrew from the Freeride World Tour this season. But he did drop in, and Hadley, the forerun kind of gave the riders a lot of good information for their upcoming runs.
Yeah, it's a really important tool for the riders. They're inspecting this morning, refining those last-minute details of which airs they're going to take, how they're going to take them, and what the snow is like so that they can adjust their skiing style. Where can I go faster? Where can I safely shut it down? You can see Max testing even the airs, and again, testing that variability in the snowpack.
Andrew, how much information as a rider when you're up there at face check morning of the comp are you drawing from these forerunners?
Well, it all depends on who the forerunner is, actually, because someone like Hitzig is a hard forerunner because he pretty much skis perfect almost every time. So if he even bobbles a little bit like he kind of did right there, makes everyone shudder. But yeah, I think it's good. It's the most important tool that we have. The biggest thing for me coming from America with the lack of visual inspection is it sets a sense of scale for the face, so you know how big these features are. I think a lot of the girls saw him hit that cliff and realized how much that's a big air this year. There's not a lot of snow on this face, so some of the medium lines are actually going to be pretty proper and winning lines this year.
Yeah, definitely a bit of disparity from what we've seen in years past. Some of the things that we've seen don't go at all. The entire looker's right-hand side of the face is closed. The Hoysel Cliff, the Eagle, all of that stuff deemed just not safe enough for competition with the snowpack like it is. So yeah, we could see some different stuff this year, which in itself is kind of exciting.
Yeah, it's always exciting, and I think again these are the best athletes in the world, and having that skill set of adjustment and not only relying on historical data is super important. Can you adjust based on the size of the cliffs, based on the snowpack? And yeah, can you stay focused through this cut?
Yeah, it's a funny thing about a face that's been used for competition so much over the years is it's really kind of easy to fall into that trap of like, well, this is where you win, this is what works, and then you get a different snowpack here and all of a sudden all bets are off and you're looking at things that weren't even out of the snow in other years, and I feel like there's a bit of that going on this year, Andrew.
Yeah, there's definitely some of that. The bottom part of the face is going to be extremely tricky for people today. The snow changes quite a bit at the bottom, and it's already a notoriously tricky part of the face, so I'm really interested to see if anyone finds something that I didn't see down at the bottom, because yeah, you're going to have to get creative, and that's kind of going to be the separator, because I think we're going to see a lot of similar lines off the top because there isn't as much snow. You got to stay in those more central spots. So it's going to be interesting to see like what the separators are, where people make up points, where people differentiate their run from the rest of the pack.
Andrew, how did you were kind of known for always taking your own path. How do you approach visual inspection and that creativity?
I have a couple golden rules about inspecting, and my biggest one is look at the landing first. It doesn't matter if there's a good takeoff if you have a good landing. There's two types of skiers out there. There's takeoff skiers and landing skiers. Marcus Gogan, takeoff skier. Me, Drew Tapke, Ben Richards, that style, we're definitely more landing first skiers. I think that's going to come into play a lot today with the lack of snow. There's not that many good landings on this face right now that are actually steep. So it's going to be important to find those good landings because it is variable snow today. So yeah, going to be a game of smarts, I think, rather than a game of huck.
Yeah, we just saw our golden bib wearer, Justine Dufour-Lapointe, warming herself up. If you saw the graphic on the screen, we have the possibility of a world title in play in ski women today. A lot of things have to go right. The stars need to align for Justine to make that happen, beginning with winning today's comp and then all of the other things that have to happen. The vibe down here is full on summer camp. You can see Martin Bender. So the ski men, if you're just joining us, are not competing today. The face was deemed not ready to hold the entire field. So ski men are spectators today. Absolutely loving it. And we are looking here at the start gate, looming up there at the summit of the Wildseeloder, and we're just about ready to go. Our first rider today is going to be Molly Armanino off that big win in Kicking Horse. Molly has been on a little bit of a roller coaster, rocky start at the beginning of the year, but then picking it up right where we all knew she was capable with that huge win in Kicking Horse. This really, really strong, solid skiing. She is safe on the cut. There's no mathematical possibility of her getting cut given her position in third place. So the Kirkwood rider has a bit of a pressure-free day, but Molly kind of never lets the pressure off herself. She wants to put a run down that she feels proud of, and she is ready to go here. We are 10 seconds away from the first rider in the Fieberbrunn Pro, Molly Armanino.
Here we are, Molly off and running again. First athlete on the course, which is always its own stress, its own excitement, and she is here testing the snow. And like you said, she is locked in for the qualification, but it doesn't mean she doesn't still want to get first overall.
No, yeah, I was talking to her earlier this morning, and I was like, you're chill, you don't have to push that hard. And she's like, no, I want to push. I want to show the people what's up.
Oh, Molly going down on the first hit there. You can see some variability in the snow. There's a crust on top, just on the ridge top. That's almost the only place there is a crust here. So Molly ski under the snow, and she goes down. But she's going to look to see if she can salvage the rest of this run, as she's now making her way into the kind of belly of the Wildseeloder. It rolls away here, Andrew, and it's so convex.
Yeah, it's traditionally where they would start the ladies on that side of the beck, and I always thought it very ironic because I was too scared to ski down that side of the Wildseeloder the first time that I skied. It's super notoriously blind. You can kind of see from the drone angle really well here. Every time there's a feature, There's another one. Unfortunately, getting hung up again here.
Yeah, it looks like Molly just got stuck in that crusty snow. You can see how her ski track just ends and bobbles her down. Tough day for Molly, but you know, again, it's all about recovery here. You can't count yourself. If your skis are still on, it's important not to count yourself out.
Yep, and I think Molly's kind of going to just traverse out of here, but I wouldn't let it get her down because she's going through to that cut. She's going to get to go to Verbier.
Yeah, and this is potentially a bit of an eye-opener for the riders that are at the top who are watching Molly. I mean, I guess they can't see her where she is now, but watching her ski down this this kind of weird snow, and you can see there that little bit of a crust. And also, once you go down once, your mentality is a little bit rattled. So Molly, I think now just looking to get herself off the face. You can see those roller balls moving as she gets down. So yeah, it's a tough one, but again, she doesn't need a result here and there. That finishing move, so solid.
Stomping the big air, so I think it's going to be a mixed bag of opinions up at the top now. One, that just gave all the riders a ton of confidence. She just stomped that better than Max Hissig. And then two, but the snow looks variable up top. I was helping a lot of these girls. I'm kind of trying to be a source of beta out here and be an open source for all these competitors and have them ask me questions. And I think a lot of my beta today was tone it back and do it nice. It's going to be it's a game today. Competition skiing's a game. It's not the time to show your biggest film tricks. It's a game sometimes. And yeah, just you can see as she comes down into the shade here, the snow gets a little bit more variable, little bit of old tracks underneath it. So I always call it the heartbreak part of the face, this Wildseeloder face. You can make your dreams up top and then just...
The dream killer zone at the bottom.
Yep.
Yeah, we see Molly. She still has quite a bit of skiing to do to get down to that finish line. And yet you kind of see it in her body language. I think that was certainly not the run she wanted, nor the run that she's capable of.
Yeah, but she's got to be proud of herself a little bit. She skied that better than Max, dude. Perfect landing.
Yeah, and again for Molly, she is safe on the cut. She's sitting in third overall, so she is going to Verbier and is locked in for next season. So this one is going to be a throwaway result for Molly, but she's definitely going to be bummed. I think the thing that drives her is runs that she's proud of. That's what she wants to do, and she always wants to show her best.
Yep, so unfortunately not going Molly's way today, but really good, sick move of opening that air. So here we can see she kind of comes into the top. It's all about these little bonus features today. So unfortunately, just going over the bars, you can see how windboardy that little pocket that she landed in. That ridge line is going to have a bunch of different textures on it.
Yeah, and I think this is something for the athletes to adjust to as they're up top.
Yeah, the one on this one there, that one, the one ski going under the snow, the other one staying on top, and it's just like hitting a tripwire. And then this was beautiful. Molly stomping that. The landing is stiff, which I think is what she was expecting on the upper landing, not for her skis to punch through. So challenging conditions here. Ski women underway. Molly Armanino, the first rider, just to the left side of that little pokey out rock. Yeah, and you can see the line tracker. Molly, I think, was maybe considering getting over onto the rider's left side of the gully, but unable to get over there. So that is run one done and dusted as Molly looks back up the face, thinking about what might have been.
21.67 for Molly. She will take the hot seat for now as we go back up to the rest of the field.
Yeah, so the rest of the field, there's a lot of pressure on these riders. This is the cut. It's an intense competition. The entire season has built up to this. The results that you have, 3 out of the 5 will count. So some of the riders that already have 3 strong results are pretty locked in. As we look here at Britta Winans, the Palisades local, and Britta is one who needs a strong result here. She's definitely hungry for it. She was so dominant on the Challengers last year, and then getting injured in the first event this year put her in a tough spot to try to make up for that and get back on the hunt. If she wins, she has a chance at making the cut. Right now she's sitting down in 12th place, so she definitely needs a huge result here if she wants to bump over. But I think more than anything, Britta right now just wants to put a Freeride World Tour run down that she feels good about.
Exactly. Yeah, I've spent a lot of the last few days with Britta, and as you said, she's such a strong skier, and she wants the world to know this.
Yeah, and just like letting all the viewers know back home, where that start is, you can't see anything from up there. And making smooth work of that little feature that Molly came through, it's going to be a big day, like I said, of trying to make little features everywhere that help differentiate your score. And she's going to come in and just lace it through this pepper zone right here. You can see how variable that snow is, but she's making smooth work.
Yeah,
she's going to look for this pad right here. This is going to be a common feature today, I think.
Clean exit for Britta Winans, so looking good so far. You can see those inverted tracks on the upper section. That's from the wind blowing the snow away from the tracks as Britta now into the heart of this Wildseeloder face. There's a couple tracks on this section, and she is making short work of this as Britta coming down towards the bottom section. We saw Molly go through here. Britta in the air, landing a little bounce. Oh, and she's down.
Down and lost, looks like both of her skis, but oh, what a heartbreak. She came into that so confident, so strong, where you saw Molly take multiple turns and slow down. Britta was so quick. There's our head tap. She is okay in body.
Well, that's a tough pill to swallow for Britta because she really wanted to just show everybody how strong of a skier she is, and it was going great up until that point, but unfortunately the landing on that one just proving a little bit too much. You know, it's not super steep, and now we've got 2 bomb holes in the same place, the one from our forerunner Max Hitzig and Molly's, 3 now with Britta, and looking like she kind of landed directly in that. Once you have that upslope of a bomb hole, the impact is exponentially greater. So Britta going down, she's kind of looking back up. She did tap her head, so she's okay as we look back here, Hadley, at this replay.
Yeah, here you see her lining up. This is the top feature. This feature is over a ton of exposure. These athletes can't fall off this feature, and she nailed it perfectly, keeping those skis in fall line, shutting it down, and then you see her move through this so quickly. And let's see what happens. Just a bit of a back slap, and then it's got quite a cone to it, and I think that just bucked her.
Yeah, taking that higher takeoff here, you can kind of see she took the big meat of it and just, yeah, landing right in the bomb hole and couldn't really hold on.
Again,
such a shame, though, because the top of that run was so good. The way she skied through that top chute was really nice, despite the snow conditions.
Yeah, really impressive. And don't forget, these riders have had no warm-up today. They come here, they start, they get up to the top, and then they have to ski a huge mountain on variable conditions. It's such a strong skill set to get those muscles activated and ready to land big airs.
All right, well, Britta Winans reunited with her skis as she is done for the day. That's going to be a no score for Britta, which is really unfortunate, but Britta definitely has an opportunity. The challengers in Region 2 are going to start after the cut on the Freeride World Tour, so she can head off to Whitewater if she is so inclined and start the campaign to earn her way back onto the Freeride World Tour for 2026.
Exactly, not the last of that we will see of Britta Winans here in the free skiing community.
All right, well, we are back to the start, and this is our event wildcard, an absolute legend in the freeride world, Nadine Wallner from right here in Austria. She's the 2013 and 2014 freeride world champion. She's won on this venue in both of those years, as well as a silver medal in 2016. Nadine Wallner also running the safety clinics for the Freeride World Tour, working for Mammut. She has, I mean, when that wild card was announced, the rest of the ski women's field were kind of all of a sudden shaking in their boots because Nadine is a machine, such a strong skier, such a history of just incredible performance, particularly on this face. So Nadine Wallner definitely looking to do it for the home crowd. We've got a big group of Austrians down here chilling in that peak performance hangout zone, and Nadine Wallner, I mean, she's just like it's a laundry list of wins on the Freeride World Tour, including those 2 world titles. So excited to see her on the face, and she came in, she's just having a good time. She's loose, she's relaxed. She doesn't have the pressure of the cut on her, which could be a huge benefit on a day like today.
Exactly. I competed with Nadine those 10 years ago, and she was always the one that we were comparing ourselves to. And like you said, she has such a strong mental game, always chill, always relaxed, but incredible athletic performances, skiing, climbing, mountaineering. As a guide, she is a woman who can do it all.
Yeah, always really fun to come into town and see that Nadine's a wild card. She's like such a solid mountain person, and that's what I respect a lot about her. It's more than just hitting jumps and skiing pow. Like, she's got the whole package.
Yes, exactly, and she is at home, Austrian flags on her shoulder. Nadine Wallner getting ready to go. As we said, two-time Freeride World Champion, back-to-back too, which is such a difficult thing to do given the strength of the field here in ski women. And Nadine Wallner now testing herself against the next generation as she kicks out of the start gate onto the Wildseeloder.
I think everyone should hold on. I imagine this will be a quick run from Nadine.
And you can see just such strong technique, just cruising through that crust, not wasting any time getting into the meat of the face here.
Yeah, and there may be an aspect on this crusty section up top where a few more tracks actually make it a little bit more skiable. You can see Nadine, she is getting bounced around. Those inverted tracks, they're stepped up a little bit as now she gets into this bushy section and starting to really kind of turn on the gas into the same section we saw Britta Winans go into, taking a slightly different angle, landing clean. So good start here for Nadine Wallner.
Really nice skiing from Nadine, making her way. Again, you can't see on this screen, but below them is that huge cliff band, so it's full commitment from here on out.
Yeah, and I'd imagine we're going to see a lot of hits off of this one today, but she's going to line up a different exit here.
Oh, Nadine Wallner over a big chunk of terrain, releasing into the fall line, full send, and she stomps it. Oh, Nadine Wallner proving exactly why they used to call her the machine when she was on the Freeride World Tour. That was enormous, and she is still going. Nadine now coming into the lower section of the Wildseeloder. Got to be feeling confident after that stomp.
That was absolutely massive, pretty much the biggest way that you could take that cliff band.
That was absolutely insane. I'm so impressed right now.
Now, this section is tricky. There are a bunch of old tracks on the lower part of this face from some poachers that were able to manage to sneak their way onto the Wildseeloder. Nadine just trying to make her way down. You can see this is, we heard from Max Hitzig, the most variable part of the face. Some of it's soft, some of it's hard. There's bumps, there's all kinds of stuff. But Nadine Wallner now looking like she's relatively safe. I never like to say it until they're through that finish arch. But she is closing in. She just has to hold the fall line and get through the finish. A massive run there from Nadine.
Really impressive. You can hear the Austrian crowd around us excited for their woman.
That was one of the biggest cliffs I've seen a lady hit in the comps for a very long time. That was proper big mountain skiing. That was really cool to watch. I think Nadine, the whole competition up until here, had a super positive attitude. We're going to go back up, look at this replay. Perfect landing there. Really committed to the fall line, strong technique, and she came pretty slow off this one. I was a little concerned, but good, perfect pop, and wow, pretty darn clean landing there. That was absolutely impressive. That was huge.
Yeah, you can see the judges' bars just maxed. Line score, huge, all of it. That was incredible. All of us are
a little bit speechless here in the commentating booth.
I have full goosebumps right now. That was insane.
Well, there you can see the Austrian crowd gathering on this perfect, gorgeous spring conditions day. Nadine Wallner now, she's just looking back up, and the judges have spoken quickly as that score goes 87.33. Incredible score there for Nadine Wallner. She would love nothing more than to walk into this event as a wild card and just say, hey, I'm still the one to beat. That was incredible.
Yeah, we see a very similar to what Marion Herity came and did earlier this year in Val Thorens, just remembering these women that win the title, they are the best.
That was incredible. I thought there was no one that was going to hit that cliff today and land. I thought someone might hit it, but I definitely didn't think they would land it.
All right, well, nice moments there between Molly Armanino and Nadine Wallner. The passing of the torch between generations. That was an incredible run from our wild card. Back up to the top, this is the current Freeride World Tour leader and the 2023 Freeride World Tour champion, Justine Dufour-Lapointe. She does have an opportunity to take the title today, but that task just got incredibly more difficult as that run from our wild card, Nadine Wallner, was unbelievable. Justine Dufour-Lapointe now on the upper section of the Wildseeloder and getting ready to kick things off.
Yeah, that must have, I'd be curious to be inside the mindset of Justine Dufour-Lapointe, watching Nadine, a hero of hers, just lace one on, but Justine is making quick work, great technique through this top section of variable terrain.
Yeah, and she's going to come into this central couloir that's seen a lot of activity. I'm going to gather that she's going to go for this side hit that we saw Britta hit, excuse me. And she's going to come in here, lacing it up, little bit bigger angle off it, nice clean landing.
Yeah, Justine, her skiing is kind of best described as athletic. You know, it's honed on years of the Freestyle Mogul World Cup, and she's extremely strong, coming down over a ton of exposure now as she's taking a different line and looking like she's going into the same zone that we saw Nadine go with a massive send for Justine. A little short, but she managed to ride it out.
Wow, the bar was set and Justine matched it. Looked maybe potentially just her hands touched, but such strong landing. Huge air out of Justine. These women are stepping up to what is expected out of them today.
Well, and Justine, another one like Molly, who's riding without pressure of the cut. She is guaranteed to make it through, catching another couple little features down there at the bottom. This is a very strong showing from the 2023 World Champ and current Freeride World Tour leader, and she is pleased. You can always see Justine wears her heart on her sleeve. The arms go out when she's stoked, and you can see her shoulders droop when she's not after she's gone down on some enormous backflip attempt. But that was a huge run and a real statement, I'd say, from the tour leader that she's not letting her foot off the gas at all.
Yeah, and I think she's kind of known as someone that does backflips all the time. And it's cool to see her step to a big mountain line like that and show that she can hang on that sort of terrain too.
Wow, that was so hard.
Well, there you go. That's the story as we look back, Hadley, at the replay of Justine's run.
So again, off this top air that the other women have gone off of, taking it well, and then again she lined up straight where Nadine went, matching Nadine, going huge. Oh, she clips a rock at the bottom and is still able to hold on for that landing. Ooh.
She goes like 25, 30 feet to a rock and stomped it.
I mean, I think this just shows how Justine is so well prepared for this tour. She does the physical fitness, she does the mental fitness to, you know, correct those mistakes.
Yeah, and out of all the competitors, she truly loves competing. Competing is so fun for her, loves the whole experience.
Yeah. Oh, hello, everyone. Waiting for the score.
I thought Nadine was going to be comfy in the hot seat, but I know, no, she's got some pressure.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, the judges have had their say as we see the score coming up, 83-33, so just behind Nadine, which makes sense. You know, Justine shorted that one by a full ski length, landed on a rock, still managed to ride it out, but a huge run for the 23 champ and our current leader. A big statement there for the rest of the girls in this field that she is not willing to let off at all. Ready to go, ready to bring the fight to the rest of the field. Back up to the top. Speaking of world champions, this is a field just stacked with them. Three-time Freeride World Tour champion Arianna Tricomi. The last time Ari competed on this face, it was in the same position that Nadine's in this year as a wild card, and she won. So she's going to be looking to back that up. Ari Tricomi right down there just above the cut, so a solid result here will cement her place in the finals at Verbier, but she's still got to get it done. Arianna Tricomi now on the Wildseeloder.
Yeah, again, she's just right above that cut line, but there's a bunch of ladies hungry for it, and the point system is so close. So Ari's got to put on a solid line here today in her home country.
Yeah, and we're kind of about to see the battle of the styles. Ari's kind of known for a more jibby, playful style than, let's say, Nadine. So, yeah, going to be the battle of the styles. I think both of them could win today, just depending on what they choose and how they execute.
Yeah, so Ari going more out to the riders' right. This gully has seen some action already. You can see some of the tracks down. There's the feature that we saw Nadine and Justine and Britta take on. Ari just over to the left of that, choosing a different feature and finding a nice landing there as she gets control back of the speed as it picks up when she lands.
Yeah, and when we were looking at the face the other day, this is kind of where we thought the best snow would be on this little shelf right here. It's the most protected, most untracked, no old tracks. So I think that's why we're seeing a lot of the ladies pick this zone.
Exactly. Ari making herself, setting herself up for, again, the mandatory exit out of this cliff band.
Yeah, we've seen some riders struggling with the landing on this cliff. We'll see Ari taking a different angle that works out beautifully. That was some veteran scoping, that slightly different trajectory, making all the difference and avoiding the bomb hole that we saw Britta land in into Molly's bomb hole. So Ari now into this slight little break in between sections of the Fieberbrunn face. The Wildseeloder popping and locking over the section. Right as you said, Andrew, the jibby style really coming to the forefront here for Arianna.
Yeah, little shifties, little jibs. Judges love that. Shows the air control in the air. And you can see kind of as she skied past those wind lip features that traditionally are on, they're not on this year. There's no takeoff on them. So people, like I said, are going to have to get somewhat creative at the bottom, but also just survive and get to the bottom of their run.
Yeah, survival is the name of the game, as Arianna, you know how she can ski, so seeing the kind of slightly more measured pace through this section tells you all you need to know about what the snow is like down here on the lower section of the Wildseeloder. But Ari, as she passes this sunshade line, should be clean and down comfortably. Again, don't like to say it until they're through the arch, but this section is not super variable. The snow's actually kind of stayed dry on that side of the mountain. You can actually see it spraying off her tails. And Ari through the finish, and she is done with her campaign on the Wildseeloder.
Yeah, and I think Ari was pretty nervous about the variability in the snow conditions, so I know she's going to be happy just to put one down clean and nice.
All right, well, Hadley, take us through this replay from Arianna Tricomi.
Back up to the top again. She took a different hit across from the one that we've seen most of the women run through, making her way through this section. Again, this is that top hit. Good landing.
Yeah, and you can see there was just a huge takeoff on that thing that you could see from the drone photos, but no one really knew how much you wanted to come into it with the giant cliff right below you.
Well, and this one I like a lot. She went on a different angle, different trajectory, found a little bit more transition in that landing than we saw in the main pocket of that one, and now that one's starting to get bombed out. So that was veteran skiing for Ari Tricomi, the three-time world champ. And then down here, just a struggle to stay upright, stay on your feet. You don't want to let go into the fall line too high on that because it gets so rough, and the transition from the face to the bottom is pretty abrupt, especially with a bunch of speed.
I want to ski powder, guys. Where is the powder?
All right, a 71.33 for Ari Tricomi. So she moves into third behind Nadine Wallner and Justine Dufour-Lapointe. And I think Ari speaks for all of us with that statement.
Sometimes it's not powder, though. This is comp skiing, man.
That's right, and we've had a couple great powder comps this year in Val Thorens and very recently in Georgia. Back up to the top we go, though. No breaks on the Freeride World Tour as we are looking at Ophir, Colorado's Chloe Hehir. Chloe has had a roller coaster on the Freeride World Tour this year. We've seen flashes of absolute brilliance from the Colorado rookie. We know it's in there. The puzzle pieces just have to come together. And so for Chloe Hehir, only 20 years old, I think the future extremely bright for this young freerider as she is looking to vault up the rankings. If she gets herself into the top 5 today, she has a chance of making the cut. It's not a guarantee, but it's possible for her. So now she just needs to get out there and do it as Chloe Hehir is on the Wildseeloder for the first time in her career.
Yeah, Chloe's such a strong athlete, creative riding. She does not like to ski the same line as everyone else, and so she's had to make adjustments here of needing to get a run down, a solid run. Again, like you said, she needs to get 5th or above to have the chance of making it through this cut. And if anyone should ride the Verbier back, it might be Chloe. She loves rocks and skiing right over them.
Yeah, like a true Telluride native that she is. Those guys are good at skiing around rocks there. So she's going to come into this central couloir here where we've seen a lot of activity going on. I'd imagine she's going to go for this side hit here off the point.
Yeah, getting a nice angle on that and landing next to the bomb hole. And look at that turn. That's just so indicative of Chloe's ski style, laying those skis on edge and looking so strong as Chloe's a little bit further out to the right than we've seen other riders go, but really looking strong as now the crux of this run is looming below her as Chloe Hehir approaching it with pace and with some serious intensity.
Taking it stomping, holding on, making it through. We are so excited for Chloe. She really needed to put one to her feet, and now she's made it through that first tough section. And as long as she makes it through the dream killer zone.
Yeah, and you can just see it rolls over one more time. If you haven't had enough blind rollers on this face, there's one last one for you. She's going to come into the shade here and hopefully just play it smart and keep it on her feet to that finish line.
Yeah, Chloe's making short work of this section, looking maybe for one more piece to pop off. We're just avoiding all of the weirdness that the lower section of the Wildseeloder has. You can see one ski getting bogged in snow. The other one is on firm, almost moguls from these old tracks. But Chloe Hehir looking solid. I really like that aggressive approach. That's kind of the way she needed to take it today. And I'm just happy to see a top to bottom kind of classic Chloe Hehir run. The skiing is there, the technique is there. She's got a great eye for line. Maybe this time going on a slightly more strategic approach, not going for the, you know, the off the beaten path line choice. But Chloe Hehir down at the bottom, safe and sound and on her feet.
Well, and she actually hit that main pocket a little bit different than some of the girls, and I think that worked out better for her.
Chloe, just quiet reflection in the finish. She's looking over there, seeing the legend Nadine Wallner as Hadley. We look up at the upper section here of Chloe's run. Really strong start.
Really strong. As Andrew said, she's taking a little bit of a different, making sure she finds that one pocket again. This is over huge exposure. And then this was quick, strong skiing into this bottom air. And as we can tell, lands it a little bit of a back slap, but really muscles it through. I think she needed to have that full belief in herself.
Yeah, and this is where I was saying she took a little bit of a different angle. Those other people took off a little bit skiers right. She went a little bit skiers left, and I think that lines up better to the landing, so had a little bit more success than Britta in there.
Yeah, and she went huge. You could see the bomb holes of the other girls sail past the bomb holes, maybe finding a little bit more transition, and every single squat she did all summer long just paid off in spades for Chloe Hehir as she is down in the finish and waiting to see that score drop. For these riders that are in the dangerous side, on the dangerous side of the cut, these are such anxious moments as we see the score come at 68-67. So Chloe into fourth there. And you can see she just had a trademark smile for Chloe as she is done and dusted, and now it's up to the other riders. So we are moving back up. Ski women underway here at the Fieberbrunn Pro, and we are making our way through the field, just about halfway through. This is Polish rider Zuzanna Witych. She is fresh off a big win at the Georgia Pro. As we see there, Nadine Wallner sitting in the hot seat looking over, and we have a look back at this run from the Georgia Pro. Perfect execution, you know, that venue was just gobbling people up, and Zuza did exactly what needed to be done to take the win that day.
Yeah, Andrew said it perfectly. This is a competition. It's not just a free skiing lap. It's really important to make adjustments to how you're riding and ski to the terrain, ski to the conditions, ski to the day.
So Zuzanna Witych, she's got a third, a ninth, and a first from Lodz, Poland. She's sitting in fourth overall right now, and she would like nothing better than to rocket herself up the rankings into that top three. Right now, she's got her work cut out for her as the run of Nadine Wallner set the bar high for ski women here early in the field, as Zuzanna is now making her way on the upper section of the Wildseeloder.
Yeah, I know. I think for these athletes, you can see a woman ski super strong, and you can either be intimidated by it or inspired by it. And I think the key is to be inspired, take that inspiration, as you see Zuzanna just making such strong work, such great skiing in this top section, taking a totally new line than we've seen so far and heading into this closeout zone.
Yeah, one of the forerunners came in here and opened this couloir up today, and she's going to double out of it.
Oh, Zuzanna going down, turning a little bit too quickly for the speed that she had. When you get your skis pointed across the hill, the pressure builds up almost instantaneously. Hopefully Zuzanna's okay. We're waiting for the arm wave. Looks like she's holding that right knee. Zuzanna did miss a season with a knee injury earlier on in her career, so we're hoping she's okay. It looks like she's kind of unsure right now.
We do have great safety here on the Freeride World Tour. It won't take long for one of the ski ninjas to get down to her, check her out, make sure that she is okay, but never great to see an athlete holding a body.
No, and it is really nice to be on a face like this. Like, we've been doing this competition for years and years and years here, so the safety protocol is pretty good on a face like this. When you go to a new face, sometimes it's always a new adventure, but on a face like this, they have the best of the best, and they're going to get down there to Zuza quick.
Yeah, and you can see from this panned out view that direct fall line approach that Zuzanna was taking. That line was a bit of a question mark for a lot of riders because it felt like it maybe didn't have as much snow in it. But Zuzanna definitely handled it. I mean, she's such a strong skier, and she always takes that direct fall line fast approach. Unfortunately, they're just a little bit of a, you know, we see that from junior freeride to the qualifiers and even on the tour. Instinct when you pick up speed like that is to throw your skis sideways quickly, and patience is a virtue in freeride. You can see Martin Bender there along with Simon Peredin, a couple of the Les Gorilles crew out of Verbier. Ski men, as we said, they are not competing today. The face deemed unable to hold up to a full field of 60 riders. So ski women, snowboard women, and snowboard men will be running today. And ski men getting the unusual pleasure of just hanging out as spectators for the day. And those boys seem to be enjoying themselves.
Yeah, it's really cool. It is a big family here, and it's always really special to see the guys that do come up and support the ladies up here. Like, you want to become MVP in my book, go cheer on the girls. Like, that's how we do it. That's what this community is all about. So great to see Martin and Simone there, and Coach Robin from Verbier.
Yeah, all watching
the vibe.
Anxiously to see how their friends do and bringing the vibe. So we've got the medical crew on site with Zuzanna Witych. They're up there checking her out and seeing what is going to be required. We are halfway through the ski women's field today here at the Fieberbrunn Pro. You can see the Austrian crowd. We got the songs going on. All right, well, we are going to head down to the finish area. Our current leader, wildcard Nadine Wallner, sitting in the hot seat with a blazing run. Nadine, what a way to come back to the Freeride World Tour. Tell us about your scoping that made you decide in these conditions to hit that massive cliff on the Wildseeloder.
Yeah, I always wanted to do this drop, but I never did. And even if the conditions are not the best, I thought it's possible. Like, you can do it. And yeah, but I had some mixed feelings, and I really had to push myself to go for it in these conditions. Conditions are a bit tricky, I would say, a bit sketchy. And you really have to get the mix that you bring it down, and I'm so grateful I brought it down how I wanted it, and I enjoyed to sit in the hot seat, and yeah, let's see what's happening end of the day, and whatever comes, I'm happy. Psyched to be here, psyched to be back. Thanks Freeride World Tour for the wild card. I'm stoked.
Nadine, it's Hadley. It's been a long time. We used to compete together. How was it to get back in that mindset of being a competitor?
Oh my God, it was nerve-wracking, and I had like, I never was so nervous. Never in my life, I guess.
That says a lot from someone that has done some pretty wild skiing and climbing in her lifetime.
Thanks, Hadley.
So Nadine, you've come back, you know, 13 and 14 world champion. We've got a new generation of young freeride skiers that are really pushing the sport right now. What's it like to come in with this new group and kind of see what they're doing and test yourself against them?
Yeah, it's crazy, and it's so inspiring to see the new generation charging, and I definitely can learn a lot from them, and I look up to everybody who is competing and giving 100 and 120% charging, and always ski on the limit and push the limits, which is super inspiring for me to see the progress of the sport.
Hey, it's Andrew here. I just want to say that was one of the most impressive things I've ever seen a female ski doer do on the tour. Massive respect, huge fan, so rad.
Thank you so much. I almost cried when I came into the finish line. I was so relieved.
You almost cried, and we could barely get our jaws to come back off the floor. Such great skiing. So nice to have you here back in the Wildseeloder on the Freeride World Tour.
Well, congratulations for your hot seat position, Nadine Wallner, showing the current generation of freeride ski women that that's how you do it on the Wildseeloder face. She's got a couple of wins on this face and a second place from the time that she was on the tour, and she is still clearly holding on to a huge skill set. As we look back up at the face, looking like Zuzanna Witych is being attended to by our safety team. We did see her holding her right knee as she was sitting there after that crash. So they're going to extract Zuzanna Witych from the face. And we have a little opportunity here to dig into a little bit more about what goes into preparing the face and checking the face and making all the decisions to give a competition a green light with our venue check with Commissioner FWT Commissioner Laurent Bess.
Yes, the Wildseeloder finally back in Fieberbrunn. Looks way better than we thought it would be.
We're in Fieberbrunn, day one of face checking. We took pictures from the judges' place and now we're gonna hike up. There's a few people hiking the mountains around, so we're gonna make sure they don't drop into the Wildseeloder. Conditions are looking pretty good. There's not much snow, but whatever there is looks pretty good, so looking forward. Lolo servicing riders by taking pictures from every possible angles to help them choose their line.
That's it. We just climbed up the Wildseeloder with Bertie, and well, it's a big difference with Canada and Georgia. After 2 comp below minus 20 degrees, it's actually pretty warm. And yeah, not only because we just climbed the venue, but also because the temperature are rising day by day. So the question is, would we be able to do the contest at the beginning of the weather window, or will it be already too warm? We are going to try the snow, going on the side of the venue, see how it is at the moment, and hopefully it will stay cold as it is the North Face venue.
It's good and fresh.
End of the day, end of the run. That's it.
Not step on each other. All right, welcome back to the Fieberbrunn Pro. We are looking at Zuzanna Witych. She went down on a crash, dropping her air and then making a turn out. She was holding her right knee, so the safety team is attending to her now. We have an incredible group of safety operators here. We have doctors, ski patrollers, guides, all stationed all over the Wildseeloder venue, prepared for this eventuality. It is always possible. You know, we enjoy this. Freeride is fun, but looming always over the top of it, there is consequence. As we look back, Hadley, at what took Zuzanna down.
You'll see such strong riding through this double, getting down, and I think she just tried to turn too fast. You really have to be patient when you finish these airs. Let the skis run a bit, catch your breath, and then set the edge if you've got the space to do so.
It's a really tricky part of the venue where she was trying to ski too. Like when I ended up taking the win a couple years ago, I watched 5 of the best male skiers in the world all go in there, and all of them had issues. It's just I always call it the Bermuda Triangle, because like if you kind of go into that shady side away from that shelf we've seen most of the girls in, it gets steep and weird, and it's actually really technical.
Yeah, and you can see it's quite narrow too, so the instinct for Zuza was to slow the speed down, because going through a double you pick up, well, twice as much speed, and then immediately you're in that narrow corridor where it's a big cliff wall on one side and a bunch of grassy bushes and rocks on the other side, and instinct is to slow down because clearly she had other things below that she wanted to be able to direct herself to, and it's one of the hardest instincts in freeride to fight, especially in a narrow corridor like that.
Exactly, and you're also, when you're going from that sun to shade line, it's a different vision, it's a different texture in the snow, and like Andrew said, it's much steeper over there. I find where the girls have all been riding originally, that first panel actually is such a great pitch. It's really easy to control your speed there.
Well, we see some of the competitors hanging out there. There is, you know, win or lose, there's relief at the bottom always, and for some of these riders, they're going to need to move on to the challenges. You can see Ross Tester there congratulating Chloe Hehir on a great run. We'll see how it holds up as we make our way through the field. We do have a few no scores. Nobody wants to get a good result based off other people falling, but it is the nature of freeride. You gotta be on your feet at the bottom to put yourself in the mix. See Toby Rafford there. As we said, ski men not competing today, so they are the most relaxed they maybe have ever been on a comp day.
Yeah, everyone's kind of asking me the vibe at dinner of the ski men, and I think they all just dissociated from the fact that they might be competing later in the week, and they're just trying to enjoy their Austrian spring vacation.
Yeah, getting a little bit of a break, and here we see Zuza being taken off the slope. Again, incredible safety crew here in Austria.
All right, well, that does bring us to, we've got a nice little piece on the safety, as we said, doctors, ski patrollers, all mountain guides all over this face. Take a look here at an in-depth look at exactly what goes into the safety preparations on the Freeride World Tour.
Since the beginning of the Freeride World Tour, we haven't seen much difference in terms of safety. Always been working with mountain guides to avoid any sort of avalanche dangers and salt chausseuring. But where it really improves, it was with the materials, from back protection, beacon, shovel, probe, and every rider has to wear an avalanche airbag backpack. And we also provide those reco devices, which will help the riders in case of an avalanche being found like a lot quicker than without. We also provide all the riders with a mandatory safety workshop. Everyone involved into the Freeride World Tour is doing the clinic. It's really important that all the crew and the riders could be involved into the research.
It's not only safety for the riders, it's also safety for the staff, to make sure when they set up everything that staff are well equipped. So we decide for which zones it's mandatory to have a beacon, shovel, probe, and then following that I make sure the staff that is in the zone where we need a beacon, that they do have one.
As a team, we plan where it would be best to position our safety staff throughout the venue. So we have ski patrollers at the top of the venue, we have ski patrollers at the bottom of the venue, and we also have some placed throughout the venue where they're able to respond quickly in the event of an accident.
All right, well, we are back live at the Fieberbrunn Pro. You can see there Zuzanna Witych airlifted into the zone where she will be able to be flown off the mountain or put in a snowcat and removed. They've got her off the face. She was holding her right knee after she went down, so we will keep you updated with information as we get it. Right now, priority was getting Zuza off the face and into a position where the extraction can continue. As we are rolling on here at the Freeride World Tour, the Fieberbrunn Pro, underway. We've got the Red Bull crew out supporting the athletes with some red hot energy. And the Fieberbrunn Pro moving on. The Wildseeloder proving to be a difficult taskmaster today. We've had some really incredible runs, and we've also had some tough ones, a few no scores already. And Zuzanna Witych being extracted from the face. Unclear what the injury is right now, but we will keep you posted. As we know, is we still have half the field, and the mental side of it, the fortitude of being the rider in the start gate, that is one of the most challenging things in a free ride, to be the next to drop and then have something like that happen.
Yeah, I think we'll see Elizabeth Gerritzen at top, and she is going to rely on 8 years of tour experience to really stay mentally sharp.
Yeah, it's really, really intimidating. It's kind of the worst case scenario, is being in the start gate, ready to go, you're breathing, you're in the zone, and then all of a sudden the brakes are pumped. But all of our love going out to Zuza, one of the nicest ladies on tour, always bringing the good vibes, always smiley, always good energy. So yeah, send lots of love out to her right now. No one wants to see someone go down like that.
Well, and she skis like such a boss. Love watching Zuzanna ski. So we will we'll keep you posted when we get more information on what's going on with Zuzanna Witych. But we are heading back up to the top. You can see the start gate, the Austrian Alps looming out there in the background, as you can see. So first category ski women will then move on to snowboard women, then snowboard men, all making their way through the challenging conditions on the Wildseeloder face. We just came from Powder in Georgia. It's one of the things that I think makes a standout, or makes a rider stand out, is their adaptability to different conditions on the Freeride World Tour.
Yeah, we had a season one year where it seemed like we just went hard pack, hard pack, hard pack, hard pack the whole season, and it was Swedes, Kiwis, and Americans.
Yeah.
And who skis the most hard pack piste? Swedes, Kiwis, and Americans. So yeah, the Powder really shuffling it up this season and kind of mixing those cards around. You'll see people like Turdell having some issues. A lot of the normal favorites that were hard pack skiers are having some bobbles in the POW.
You can see Taylor Dobbins there getting herself ready. She'll be coming up a little bit later in the ski women's field. The rider in the gate right now, the 2021 Freeride World Tour champion. I said you can't swing a stick without hitting a world champion in the field today. So many strong riders, so many accolades, so many medals and trophies at home on the cases, but it all comes down to today for crunch time. Elizabeth Gerritzen ready to go, and the Verbier crew is getting fired up down there at the bottom. See Martin Bender and Simone Paradin, they're going to be cheering on their countrywoman who is up at the top and ready to go. Elizabeth Gerritzen, as soon as we are ready, we will be dropping her on the Wildseeloder face.
Yeah, and you can see Remy there. Check out Remy's headpiece there. Always bringing the good vibe, the valet's energy.
Yeah, exactly. They've traveled across the Alps to join us here in Austria and cheer on their friends. Here's the downhill look. Those south-facing slopes been taking a beating from the warm spring sunshine here in Fieberbrunn, Austria. This gives you a really good indication of how long this face is. As I said, 600 vertical meters. It's a long way from top to bottom, and it has that flats at the very bottom as you approach the gate. But we heard from the forerunners, legs just absolutely cooking. There's a lot more pressure buildup on each turn, and all of that kind of adds up to, well, to fatigue on the legs. So all that dryland training early on preseason, and trying to continue it on the road. That's one of the hardest things about competing on this tour, is actually maintaining your fitness when you're traveling from stop to stop.
Yeah, I mean, these athletes just arrived here from Georgia. A lot of them, some had the opportunity to go home, but if they went home, it was only for about a night. Other athletes went straight from Georgia to here. So like you said, they really have to quickly turn around, stay fresh, keep that balance of getting stronger, maintaining fitness, but also recovering.
Yeah, and one of the fun things about this Fieberbrunn week is there's actually a junior competition tomorrow. So just saw a bunch of the junior competitors coming by. It's a big freeride festival here in Fieberbrunn, one of the best in the world. Kind of a big meeting spot of the whole community, so really special here.
Austria really is the home of skiing, such a rich history in this country of skiers. You can really feel it. You see it in the infrastructure. You see it in all of the viewership. It's a really great place to celebrate free skiing.
Yeah, and these events where the Freeride World Tour crosses over with junior competitions are so special for the juniors. They get to hang with their heroes, and maybe more so than ever, there's so many riders on the tour that were juniors really recently, so they totally recognize the value in that connection and contact. All right, we are back up to the top, and we are ready to go with Elizabeth Gerritzen, peak performance rider out of Verbier, and ready to kick things off. She is below the cut. A strong result here can have a huge impact on her standings. She's certainly capable. You can see her results there. Win, win, win. Those are her best results. As Elizabeth Gerritzen now ready to go on the Wildseeloder and out of the start gate.
Andrew, you spent a lot of time with Elizabeth these last few days. How's her headspace? How's she doing going into this comp?
Yeah, she's a fellow faction team athlete, so we ended up becoming friends back in the day, and she's one of my best friends on tour that we've met throughout the years. So yeah, I've been helping her out a bit. Hopefully everything is going to go smooth for her today. I got a lot of pressure on trying to make sure that she has a nice, clean, fun run. I'd love to see her in Verbier, and I know that she would love to see herself in Verbier too.
You can see Elizabeth taking a completely new approach to this side of the venue where we saw the Forerunner Max hits it go.
Yeah, this has been kind of the freestyle zone. You see Elizabeth popping her first couple of features there, getting a feel for the snow. Early on in the run, you're trying to understand what the snow is like. And Elizabeth now making her way down this way rider's right side gully with features stacking up below her. You can see how steep it is by the slough running down from the drone angle as Ellie now getting into this bushy section. It's so hard to tell from inspection what's a bush and what's an air when you're looking through binoculars from the other side of the valley.
Yeah, and it's a really tricky little blind horizon there, so kind of making the best of it. But now once you get into this central pocket here, she should be pretty well organized where she is.
Oh, just holding on there. Elizabeth getting a little inside and then rolling up and over. So now she's getting got to get her composure back underneath her as she approaches this big air, mandatory air. There's no way to ski out of there on snow. So she's going to line up and get ready to put herself into the air.
Yeah, nice clean execution of that big air. Little bit slow up top, but she's going to be happy with that move there. And making good work of the Avi debris.
Yeah, that Avi debris is so firm, so easy to take you down. Elizabeth skiing through it. There we see her signature style. Such a fun rider to watch. For me, I'm always looking about where's Elizabeth skiing and what is she doing and how do I ski more like her?
Yeah, it's really interesting because I think growing up in Verbier, you put a lot of pressure on yourself to be this big mountain skier, you know? And what I think is really interesting about Elizabeth is she's one of the most stylish lady skiers on tour. Always got a little jib to it, always got a little side shifty.
We see Elizabeth making her way down through this section again, challenging snow at the bottom.
Yeah, and this just tells the whole tale. The way the skiers are approaching this bottom section with a little bit of tentative pace. It's so difficult and the snow is so weird down there that even just letting off the brakes a little bit, you can feel it in their movement that it just doesn't feel like you want to let go there because you never know what the snow is going to do to you.
Well, and then also...
Oh! Elizabeth just getting kind of bobbled there.
Oh, no.
Something is going on.
I think she's just dropping it low for fun.
Yeah, for the style.
Again, style is everything.
That's how you do it. A little bit lost on some of the features up there, but she should be proud of stomping that big air. That one's been eating people all day. Same air that world champ Max Hitzig hit, so gotta have some pride in that. And again, one of the nicest people on tour, and like, she's one of the biggest advocates for getting the ladies to the top of the Beck the next time that it looks good. So yeah, really appreciate her energy in the sport. But yeah, just getting a little bit punched on that one, and I think it kind of bobbled her a little bit. And when you get a little punch off an air like that, it might kind of, you lose your confidence a little bit. However, she had a really good save right there, almost getting eaten by a snow snake, but you can just see that weaseling out. Well, and then big work of this one here, maybe one of the better ones we've seen all day. Pretty smooth landing there.
I think she may have caught a knee to the jaw there as we watch her head snap back from landing. Oh, she definitely did. Yeah, I mean, the old knee to face move in freeride skiing, and there, just one ski getting caught up in the crust.
I think she just was trying to sit down a little bit too early there.
Yeah, exhausting work skiing the Wildseeloder from top to bottom for these riders. As you can see, the Mammut line tracker tracking Elizabeth's progress down the face as she checks in with Nadine. All right, well, here we have the score coming in for Elizabeth, a 61.33, so she's going to slide into 5th place right now, about 2/3 of the way through the field in ski women. Well, you can hear the songs in the background. Hopefully Elizabeth's chin is all right. Definitely you can see her head snap back on that one. As we are back up to the top, this next rider, Lily Bradley, fired up and ready to go. Their mantra, ski fast and have fun.
Lily, such a bright light here on the tour. Such an easy, smooth California rider. So fun to ski, so fun to watch.
Yeah, I remember meeting them years ago in Spain, and she was doubting herself, didn't believe in it, and I think the next event she came out and won.
Yeah, Lily has a victory on the Freeride World Tour under her belt in the trophy, under their belt in the trophy case, and now looking to get it done here. We may see some of the North American riders thriving in these weird conditions. This is classic IFSA skiing, 16 different kinds of snow from top to bottom, and they are underway now on the Wildseeloder.
Hitting that top air, making through no problem where the other girls got a little bit caught up. Lily making quick work of this top section, staying right centered over her skis. And huge!
Yes! They make it all the way over all those rocks. Lily now just trying to get back in control, taking a couple more steps as they are right on the edge, actually teetering on the edge between control and chaos. Now Lily Bradley making their way down into this section that has seen so much action in the ski women's field.
I think Lily feels a little bit of freedom today. She's pretty low down on the cut, and I think this is a run for her to just show what they are capable of. Lining up that massive cliff, taking it with speed.
Yes!
Oh my goodness.
Lily.
Hold on to it through the debris. Wow, absolutely amazing run for Lily right now.
You saw Nadine, you saw Justine, they went in pretty slow, and Lily just full gas, massive air.
Yeah, they are one of the brightest sparks on the Freeride World Tour and never afraid to get buck wild and send it for glory. Lily Bradley now coming into this lower section and going a little bit more to the rider's left where it's maybe slightly less wonky in the snow, but they're still finding, you can see this, the way the skis are moving on the snow, just getting pushed around.
Yeah, Lily skiing quite quickly through this section, showing that they are a strong skier. Fast work, coming in hot. Lily, full gas. We've seen her, she went to the moon in Spain, and here she just launched that cliff. They just launched it huge.
That was, yeah, that was smooth. That was how you do it. That was 100% proper. Nadine kind of slowed down into it, and Lily just came in and made quick work of that. She's going to be happy with that one.
You're an icon. You're an icon. No, you are. It was you. That was such a sick run.
All right, well, Hadley, let's take a look. Lily doing the up and over roll, and they clear the rocks. Just a little tail tap on the bushes, but that's okay.
Totally, and you see quick to make that adjustment, that readjust, a little bit of a wild ride, but still staying on their feet, making it through. Yeah, that first air is massive.
And just check out how blind that is. I remember seeing Marcus Eder hit that thing for the first time from the top, and I thought he landed at the bottom of the Wildseeloder. So for Lily to come in and trust that takeoff, absolutely insane.
Line scored to the top, and this is that bottom air where you see no hesitation, enormous stomping legs. Lily Bradley, what an exciting rider to watch today.
Well, this is Freeride at its finest, and one of the things, a real highlight of that for Lily Bradley, the big air at the top and the bottom. The other women that have hit that big feature at the top, at the bottom, didn't have anywhere near as big of an air at the top.
It's not decent. Yeah.
All right, well.
Nice, dropped a nice granny.
love hearing the catch-up chat from the riders at the bottom as Lily coming in and saying to Nadine, you're an icon. And Nadine just firing straight back, no, you are. So the judges have their work cut out for them now. They're balancing.
I was watching from the top and I was like, holy shit, that's sick.
Balancing the what they saw against the criteria. There is the score of Nadine Wallner, and Lily goes into 90.67. They are taking on the Hotties.
Yeah, one of the most humble competitors on tour. Lily couldn't even believe that they would give her that score, and we kind of were looking at each other thinking it was coming for sure.
Well-deserved, massive score. First one in the 90s for ski women. Lily getting congratulations from the homies there. You can see Britta Winans, all the friends. High fives, hugs, and extremely high spirits. Lily Bradley throwing down the gauntlet there as they are, as we said, low on the cut line in the rankings. We'll see what this is going to do, but 90 points under the belt. Back up to the top, this next rider has been an absolute standout on the Freeride World Tour this year, riding for Scott and Peak Performance. Lena Kohler, coming out of Benningen, Germany, living in Innsbruck, so this is as close as Lena gets to a home comp. 24 years old, came from ski racing, and has been absolutely loving the transition to freeride skiing, the freedom and the fun with all the homies just rallying around. Lena Kohler now on top of the Wildseeloder and looking to make a big splash.
Loving the transition and making an easy showing of the transition. If she hasn't crashed, she has been on the podium this year. She is definitely one to watch.
Yeah, Lena Kohler, one of the victims of that dream killer in Georgia that took down so many riders across all 4 categories. And Lena now getting things going here into this area that we've seen so many riders get into, taking a slightly different option on this upper section, maybe giving herself a bit of a different angle on this, as you call it, Andrew, this side hit up at the top. Lots of exposure under there, but clean and safe for Lena Kohler. She picks up speed coming down into the lower section.
Yeah, and you can see her finding maybe a new exit here off of this closeout shelf. There's kind of a little pocket there that we can barely see, kind of going lookers left to right. And yeah, she's going to open up this new air.
Oh, and she is clean.
Clean, and what's hard to see on your screen is there is a lot of avalanche debris in that cone, and she rode with strength and power and confidence right out of there.
Yeah, and you can see just the shape of those turns. Lena Kohler, you know, stacking onto that technique score as she laces these turns. Now, this is a tricky section of the face, and I think the riders that are able to ski the lower section with a bit of intensity and aggression are going to be rewarded by the judges, because we've definitely seen things slow down on this lower section in the earlier parts of this category.
Yeah, and just making quick work of this bottom section here. You know, you just hit a bunch of big airs, and then you get into the worst snow right at the bottom. So it's definitely not easy skiing. You could maybe rip it if it was your only turns of the day, but you just skied 1,000 vert to get there almost.
Yeah, legs are burning. But Lena Kohler looking to get out safely as she has put down a very solid run here on the Wildseeloder for her home comp. The German rider, I mean, she has just been such a strong, for a lot of rookies, it's hard making the transition from qualifiers to the Freeride World Tour. Lena does not seem to have struggled with it at all.
Not at all, and if she gets a top 3 here in Fieberbrunn, she is a guaranteed locked into Verbier.
It's going to be hard to break into that top 3 today, though, with the massive move going down at the bottom. The whole podium has hit that big cliff so far.
Yeah, it definitely showing as we look back here, Hadley, at the top of Lena's run, that first move, setting the tone for the rest of this section.
Yeah, picking a nice trajectory, keeping her skis in the fall line.
Yeah, nice and smooth. You can tell that snow right there is actually holding up pretty good, better than I thought it would.
Well, and this was the standout feature. That was a big air for Lena, stretching out to get all the suspension for that landing.
You can just see how tricky it is to get lost. You know, you're a little bit left, a little bit right, that landing doesn't work, and she made perfect work of that.
Yeah, and the trajectory on that one was critical. As you can see on the Mammut line tracker, there were rocks above and rocks below. So any mistake in angle there, you were going to pay a heavy price. But Lena, no mistake as we see her catching up with Lily sitting in the hot seat. Score coming in. That's a 79 for Lena Kohler. So sliding just into the top 4. Andrew, you were bang on. The top 3 is going to be tough to crack with how big they are going in these wild conditions on the Wildseeloder. So Lena, she sees the score, a little nod as she moves off. So solid run there for the young peak performance rider as we see Lily Bradley sitting in the hot seat. They're just taking it in.
Yeah, Lily full style, on skis, off skis. They are such an
icon.
An icon.
Straight up icon.
All right, back to the top we go. We have 3 more riders left in the ski women's field. This is where we sit. Lily Bradley, Nadine Wallner, and Justine Dufour-Lapointe. Those are your top 3 athletes in ski women so far. We still have 3 heavy hitters stacked up at the top of the Wildseeloder ready to have their say, and we will see what they're going to do. The fans are out in force here. It's a gorgeous day for spectating, for judging, for commentating. Definitely a little bit difficult or different for the athletes, but as we said, you got to be flexible. You have to be adaptable on the Freeride World Tour.
I'm truly blown away at this field so far.
All right, back we go. Taylor Dobbins, fresh off her first Freeride World Tour podium at the Georgia Pro. Confidence is up. I had breakfast with Taylor this morning, and she was saying, you know, all season, effectively this is a rookie season. She qualified last year but was injured in the first event. So redoing the rookie season with a redo, and with a podium in Georgia, fresh confidence, and Taylor Dobbins now on and looking to put down a run that she feels good about. Another one with the ski racing background, similar to Lena, and you can see it in the turn shape up top.
Yeah, attacking the top of the venue with speed, with control, with beautiful turns.
And she's going to chip a little piece off this air right here. Not going huge, but probably a smart move, as we've seen that feature take out some competitors already. You don't want to slam right off the top.
No, not a good way to start a run. Taylor Dobbins, growing up in Killington, Vermont, she's no stranger to firm snow. And now coming into the meat of the Wildseeloder, this is where things start to get interesting. She's going to head over to this this ramp that we've seen a ton of action on. Taylor getting it into the fall line, landing to the right of the bomb holes. You can see as the venue evolves, you got to be really specific about your line, your angles, and your trajectories to avoid landing in other people's bomb holes.
And Taylor using the venue to slow herself down a bit, lining herself up for this bottom cliff.
Yeah, and it's just amazing there. Every single one of those trees looks the same. Every single one has a blind roller, and she's going to come into this classic air we've seen. We're going to see what takeoff she approaches.
Yeah, one final look at her takeoff angle, going a little bit more in the other direction, and oh, Taylor going down. Her skis were just a little bit out of the fall line there as momentum was tracking to the right, and she was moving to the left. Looks like we got the head tap. Taylor's back up on her feet.
But I believe she left one of her skis behind.
Yeah, hard to see where it is. You can see a lot of those bomb holes showing rock underneath. That's a big part of the decision that was made not to run ski men, as a shallow snowpack definitely not going to hold up to 50-plus riders on this face. As Taylor Dobbins, you can see the ski runner traversing in from the side to see if they can locate the ski. Ah, there it is. The drone found it.
Oh, you just stuck and buried.
Yeah, not much of that ski poking out.
There's some snow in that landing, see? Yeah, so you can see that ski dude going up there to grab that ski, and yeah, Taylor just going a little bit skiers right off that cliff and unfortunately getting sharked out. It's a pretty precise landing right there. We'll take a look back at it from the top.
Again, coming into this top section, getting herself lined up for that first air.
Yeah, and really smooth execution here. You can see like really good turn out of there, but kind of dragged the hip, and then let's see where it all kind of came apart. You can, yeah, just kind of put it right to the rock, and unfortunately it looked like she almost had it until that last rock kicked her ski off and decided no.
Yeah, I think the closer you get to these cliffs, the rockier they are. I think today the name of the game is speed and having not too much, but definitely enough to clear these.
Yeah, unless you're Justine and you can just stomp 40-footers on a rock, apparently.
This is our look back at the top. You can see Astrid Chelus in the start gate. She is in second overall and a hungry lady for first.
Yeah, personal favorite of mine for sure. Love watching her ski. Always pretty impressive, always really aggressive. And we're going to go back to Taylor. She's going to make her way off the face, kind of cruising down. So an unfortunate end for Taylor today, but she's going to be all smiles. She's a very positive human being, really excited to be here, really excited to be in Europe. So.
Exactly, and that'll be a no score for Taylor as she lost her ski, so she'll just make her way. But with style and smoothness, you can again see that ski racing background.
Yeah, and you can look back up to the top. So quite a bit of snow on the north siding face, but not so much on that south facing exposure. But yeah, I mean, personally, I've been absolutely blown away by the competition so far today. We were concerned with the little bit low tide, kind of variable snow, and like without a doubt, my jaws hit the ground 3 different times today with those girls stepping to that big move. Like absolutely blown away.
Well, incredible moments here on the Freeride World Tour. The Wildseeloder proving a cruel taskmaster for some of the riders, as we've seen a real contrast in ski women, some very high highs and some tough ones, as we are back up to the top with the current second place overall stander, Astrid Chelus. We have a look as Astrid, the Fieberbrunn Pro last year, with a huge run, getting it done, big airs, smooth skiing, high speed, and of course that highlight backflip. Astrid Chelus, you know, we're seeing some features there that certainly aren't in play this year, but Astrid Chelus sitting just behind Justine Dufour-Lapointe. She was right in the hunt for the title last year with Hedvig Wessel. She finds herself right back into the battle this year, and Astrid, only 21 years old. She's already got 3 wins on the Freeride World Tour. Incredible, incredible. Her rise from juniors, you know, as a junior world champion to straight into the challengers, and now one of the strongest riders on the Freeride World Tour, riding out of La Clusaz and ready to go here on the Wildseeloder.
As you said, and we've said many times this year, I think she is one of the riders that has a complete package. Her tricks, her style, her technique, green lines through the roof.
Yeah, and she's going to go into the same steeper couloir that Zuza went into, making clean work of that top section, just GSing her way through that perfect skiing.
She really knows how to get onto that downhill ski, maintain full control.
Yeah, putting the turns in where they need to be. Astrid now coming into a slightly different direction than we saw Zuza, and clean in and out quickly, as she had to manage the little pit that the ski patrollers dug there on the extraction from Zuzanna Witych. Astrid now lining up this bottom feature. We wondered if this was going to go tapping over the bushes, but making it out of there. And now Astrid has to navigate all of this avalanche debris up and through this flat section. Riders getting a little bit of a break on their legs as she makes her way across to the other side of the gully. This is the first rider that we've seen go over here today, and we'll see if it pays off for Astrid Chelus.
Yeah, predominantly when I would compete on this face, I found this side to be much more playful and friendly, and we'll see the snow actually looks to be a little bit smoother for the most part, making quicker work of it than we've seen on the other side. And yeah, getting the bonus feature there.
Oh yeah, well there's no tracks over there. That was kind of less traveled or less traffic than the other side, and Astrid adding that feature at the bottom and able to actually carry some speed and flow through the lower section, which has proved really difficult on the rider's right side. So smart scoping, veteran moves from the 21-year-old rider out of La Clusaz.
You think she would have been on the tour for 10 years with that line choice.
All right, well, Astrid now across the flats and heading towards the finish arch, legs burning, but until they are through that arch, the judging continues, so always anxious moments for the riders, as she is now through the finish and safe and sound. So Astrid Chelus and Justine Dufour-Lapointe with solid runs, so the battle goes on. And Astrid is another rider that's safe from the cut no matter what happens here, but now she's double safe because she's just done a great run.
Let's look back up at her run again. Strong riding, always on that downhill ski, making a race course out of the Wildseeloder. It is so steep in that section, and her commitment to the fall line, 100%.
Well, and you look at those turns, quick feet required here. Redirect there, control the speed, redirect again to land in that tiny little pocket. And then Astrid in the zone that took Zuza down with the skis across the fall line, controlling the speed here. And then I really like this section. We wondered if this was going to see any play here, and Astrid with really clever scoping to find this line.
As Andrew said, some riders look at the landings, and when we were scoping yesterday, this was the only section of the venue that I thought had a perfect landing. Not only just the angle, but the snow quality.
Yeah, and then we can see this was really creative down here, this nice little last feature. It's really important. You want to have a complete run top to bottom, keep that thermometer hot the whole time. So yeah, adding features like this will probably actually help her score a bit. I'm interested to see.
Big time, and a complete run on the bottom half of the Wildseeloder has been really difficult to come by today on the rider's right side. So Astrid finding... All right, well, the score coming in, Astrid with an 81.33, so she takes over the fourth spot. Fourth place, a bit of a revolving door here in ski women, so that's going to be a solid result, and we'll keep this battle going on with basically Justine needed, if she wanted to win the title, she needed to win here today. And with her and Astrid now one place apart, the battle for the overall title in ski women goes on. Lily Bradley sitting on top, Nadine Wallner, the wild card and legend, in second, and Justine Dufour-Lapointe holding down that final podium spot for the moment. But we do have one more rider that has a say in this conversation. 2 second places in a row for Verbier's Jenna Keller. She had a rocky start and has picked it up big time as Jenna Keller, the Verbier ski instructor, 30 years old. She said last year on the Challengers was her goodbye to freeride, and then she won the Challengers and found her way onto the Tour. Now has 2 podiums and is looking solid. Anything in the top 7, and she is locked even below that. She still has a very good chance of making the cut. So Jenna Keller can ski with a little bit of freedom and pressure off her shoulders.
Yeah, I was talking to her a bunch before the comp. We were skiing around Verbier a little bit, and I think she wants to push it a little bit. She doesn't want to really play it safe. She wants to put down something that she's proud of.
Well, and that is the DNA of these freeriders. They never really want to play it safe when they can. They want the world to see everybody at home watching them ski. They want everybody to see just how awesome they are. And so far, so good in ski women, as we have been treated to an incredible show here, as Jenna Keller now getting into the central section of the Wildseeloder face.
Yep, going for the side hit there. Nice, smooth execution. And yeah, see how she trusted the fall line a bit there and wasn't slamming on the brakes? That's what you have to do. That's what you get from being a ski instructor for all those years. Downhill edge control.
Arcing and aggressive turns as now Jenna is just lining up. The landmarks on here, Hadley, you talked about this when you were competing. They're quite tricky because a lot of these bushes from the uphill side look really similar to each other, as Jenna now lining up her lower air but taking a different angle on it.
Really smart. I think she knew she was the last skier to go. A lot of the women were going to ride there. So finding a fresh landing key, making it through that avalanche debris, no problem. And we'll see what she's able to do with this bottom third of the venue.
Yeah, not even a hint of a bobble on that landing for Jenna.
Yeah, probably some of the best skiing we've seen today on the face. No control issues whatsoever, which is always really good for that judging category. It didn't have the huge feature that a couple of those ladies had, but most solid skiing of the day, I'd say. That's what you get for being a ski instructor.
Well, yeah, just a great technique, solid take on the face, and finding a little bonus feature now, just releasing to the fall line and cooking out the bottom. So solid, solid effort there for Jenna Keller as she is approaching the finish. A really good take, and I like her approach on that final feature that has seen some challenges for some of the other riders. As you said, Andrew, last rider on the face, you got to play it smart. There's a ton of bomb holes under that. We saw from the drone footage that many of those bomb holes actually have rocks in them. You don't want to be the last one landing in a rocky bomb hole.
No, so really smart skiing from Jenna today. She should be proud of that one.
And here, her fellow countrymen. Let's go back to the top. Look at her run. Again, off this first air, with a lot of traffic, no problem. It almost looks like she doesn't even take off the way that she lands so smoothly.
Well, and I love the turns after this. As you said, Andrew, committed to the fall line, just put the skis where they need to be. You don't need to shed speed, you just need to control it. And then a different angle on this lower air, finding nice transition there, just squatting into the landing. Strong, solid, smooth riding for Jenna Keller.
Perfect landing. Nice and smooth. That was always my style. Tone it down a little bit, but ski it really, really well. So love to see people do that.
Yeah, the Mammut line tracker there showing Jenna's path down the Wildseeloder as the crowd is loving these springtime conditions here in Fieberbrunn, Austria, the Tyrol region, providing wonderful hosting for the Freeride World Tour year and year after year. So we're waiting for the score for Jenna Keller. Lily Bradley sitting in the hot seat with that absolutely electric run that they put down.
Nothing's happening yet.
And this is the team.
Now the judges are talking to each other.
Lily giving Jenna the play-by-play of what's happening on the screen. This is the team who holds the fate of many of these riders in their hands. The Swiss songs are popping off. Score coming up, up, up for Jenna Keller, and she lands herself in 6th with a 77.67. So a keeper result. She'll be able to drop one of those crashes that she had earlier in the season. And you can see it land on Lily Bradley as they realize that they have just won the Fieberbrunn Pro. Lily hasn't taken a win since they took the victory in kicking horse back in 2022. So a huge result for Lily Bradley.
Well, tearing up here, I was wondering when I was going to cry a little bit today. So very excited for Lily. Full personality. Deserved it with that. I mean.
All right, let's take a look at the event scoreboard here, Hadley. This is what happened today in the Fieberbrunn Pro.
Lily with the massive air. They sent it. Inspired probably by our wild card Nadine Wallner, who's sitting in 2nd, Justine Dufour-Lapointe in 3rd, Astrid Chelus in 4th, and Lena Kohler rounding it out in 5th. As we move down, Chloe Hehir, Elizabeth Gerritzen, Molly Armanino. A few people gotten a little bit eaten up today on the Wildseeloder.
Yeah, definitely a highs and lows, heartbreak and glory kind of day for ski women as we look here at our 3 no scores finishers. Zuzanna Witych, we did get word that she's at the hospital right now in St. Johann, and the right knee is the issue. That's the pain that she was complaining about. So as we hear, this is the podium for ski women at the Fieberbrunn Pro. They're all trying to get themselves organized. A little bit of
I think some modeling going on. Lily Bradley, Nadine Wallner, Justine Dufour-Lapointe. Incredible riding today.
Yeah, I'm absolutely blown away by what these guys, this field threw down. Like, absolutely amazing competition. We were nervous about it, but
all right, well, here we go. This is what's happened with the cut. Justine Dufour-Lapointe moving further into the lead, but Astrid is not far behind. And as we look down, Lily Bradley has jumped up from last place in ski women to just above the cut. Arianna Tricomi, Taylor Dobbins, and Chloe Hehir on the downhill side of that cut. So an incredible performance, absolute gut check for Lily Bradley as they put the run of the day down and find themselves in the cut, moving on to Verbier and the 2026 Freeride World Tour. All right, we are down to the finish with the boss, the champ. Iconic performance from Lily Bradley. I loved your catch up with Nadine. You're an icon. No, you're an icon. That was absolutely huge, Lily. Tell us about the scoping that went into that and how you're feeling right now.
I picked the line out from the top after I saw Nadine and Justine hit it, and they just looked like such bad bitches. So I just wanted to do that line because it looks sick as fuck. Yeah, I don't know. Snow was bad, but the line was cool.
Hell yeah. Well, massive congrats to you, Lily. Taking the win at the Fieberbrunn Pro, and you may not have heard this yet, but jumping yourself up and over the cut, you're going to Verbier.
You don't get to go home yet. You are stuck with us. We cannot wait to see what you do on the back.
Thanks, Hadley. Thanks, Big D. Fuck yourselves.
so proud of you, Lily. Congrats.
Thanks, I fall.
All right, well, Lily Bradley, that is the reaction that you get from Lily as they take it all in. As we are moving on, ski women is wrapped. Snowboard women coming up. Do not leave your screens. Welcome back to the Fieberbrunn Pro, stop number 5 on the Freeride World Tour by Peak Performance in 2025. Just wrapped up ski women in the gorgeous Tyrol region of Austria, and it was absolutely spectacular. Want to say a huge thank you to Andrew Pollard, Freeride World Tour legend, for joining us on the call for ski women as we move on through the field. I'm Derek Foos, joined here by Hadley Hammer, the two of us keeping you up to date with all the action. Hadley, that was electric.
I mean, I don't think I've recovered yet from this morning. What incredible skiing out of these women. Huge airs. The conditions were low tide, didn't seem to affect them. Just the level of riding these days, unbelievable. You have veterans. And now we've got our next category, snowboard women on the Freeride World Tour.
This is where we're sitting in the overall rankings. Noemie Equy, the rookie on tour, but certainly riding like a veteran, sitting in first by a significant margin from Michaela Davis-Meeh. And Michaela, though, with a couple of really strong results already, and she's going to be looking to back that up here. Anna Martinez and Audrey Hebert. The cut right now between Audrey and Nuria, but the points differential between Audrey and Nuria is almost nothing. Erin Sauvé and Estelle Rizzolio sitting down there in 6th and 7th, going to be looking to make a splash here today at the Fieberbrunn Pro. We just saw that it is possible to vault from last to the good side of the cut. Lily Bradley doing it in ski women. Estelle and Erin will be aiming for that target today. And between Audrey Hebert and Nuria Caston, there's almost nothing. This is the order that the women are dropping in today in Fieberbrunn.
Estelle, Chamonix-based rider. Rizzolio coming out of first, Nuria right behind her. Then you have Audrey Hebert, Michaela Davis-Meeh, Erin Sauvé, Anna Martinez, and rounding it out with Noemie Equy, our current leader.
Yeah, it's almost like the reverse order there when the standings leader drops last. Peak Performance Fun Bet fan favorites, 86% of you feeling that Noemie Equy will land on the podium today. Hard to bet against that so far from what we've seen this season. Anna Martinez was 70% and 67 looking for Nuria Caston to be on the podium. Peak Performance Fun Bet, lock in. It's fantasy free ride. It's your opportunity to get involved, get in the game, and big prizes up for grabs at the end of the season from Peak Performance. A huge thank you to them as we see all the fans lined up. That's the Mammut crew. They are providing safety technology for the Freeride World Tour as well. Nadine Wallner, our second place finisher in ski women, has been running the safety clinics for the Freeride World Tour. It's hard to imagine somebody that the riders would want to listen to more than a Freeride World Tour and mountain legend Nadine Wallner, and proving that at 36 years old she still has what it takes to hang at the highest level.
So inspiring. What a great day. I'm so happy to be here, to be in Austria, the heart of the Alps, Tyrol, as we look at the top, all the snowboard women getting ready, doing their last final preparations before they drop in.
Riding out of Tonon, France, Estelle Rizzolio. She needs to finish in the top 2 to even have a chance at making the cut. Certainly capable of doing it. Estelle at 39 years old, loving life on the Freeride World Tour. She was saying she's just enjoying so much all the friends she's making. The snowboard crew has been really tight this year, hanging together, traveling together, riding together. And Estelle Rizzolio now pushing out of the gate with some aggression as she wants to get it done here on the Wildseeloder. Snowboard women underway at the Fieberbrunn Pro.
So exciting, Estelle. Looking forward to riding this face. Not nervous at all this morning. Really out there riding for the women, celebrating the women. Excited to show what she can do.
Yeah, I really like the vibe that Estelle brings to the Freeride World Tour. You know, she's quite a free spirit. She's always having a blast and kicking things off. We saw a bunch of the ski women struggling with that feature, but Estelle having absolutely no trouble whatsoever. Edge-to-edge riding here as she makes her way towards this rider's right gully.
Goofy-footed rider, techno DJ, coder. She embraces all sorts of ways of living. We see her making her way through this couloir in and out of the sunshade line and able to pick off a few of these features on her way down.
Yeah, stacking up the features is the name of the game. Line score, of course, the critical piece of all of the, well, each one of the 5 judging categories is equally critical to the others, as Estelle now over a big block of terrain and looking to line up a feature here as she is right up to the edge of it. You can barely see her in the rocks. And now without any pace, she's got herself into a bit of a pickle here. You can see by the hand gesture, she's kind of noticing it. So Estelle extremely hung up in the rocks, and it's gonna be interesting to see how she navigates. There's a tiny seam of snow, but I don't know if it's enough to get a toe side edge into.
Doesn't look like. I wonder if she was trying to go into the line that we saw Lena go under and just missing the entrance.
Well, Estelle has unstrapped the back foot from her board as now she is transitioning from snowboarding to rock climbing. We'll have to double check with our rules team, but when the board comes off, and this is extremely rare in snowboarding, that is going to be a no score. It's the same in skiing. If your skis come off, NS. And now Estelle really getting herself into the gnar. Oh my God, mountain goat. Wow, that was a show of agility there from Estelle Rizzolio. So that will be a no score if we are interpreting the rules correctly. I'm pretty sure we are, Hadley. It's rare in snowboarding, but Estelle really left with only that option to get herself out of there.
Yeah, unfortunately, probably missing her entrance, not the run that she wanted today, but safely making her way off that very rocky ledge.
Yeah, you can see as we, well, she's signaling to the drone a little bit of a WTF moment on the FWT as Estelle now exiting this gully. So this is just going to be for the friends, as with a no score for Estelle. She will be judged only up to the point that the board was removed. Yeah, so Estelle, with the cut looming over this event, was in need of a first or a second in order to make her way through the cut. And now it almost feels like the pressure has just been released as she's just popping and playing down. No, yeah.
Yes, the run that potentially could have been here on that bottom third of the venue. A bit of a heartbreak for Estelle, but I imagine it won't settle too deeply for the Chamonix-based rider. A long spring ahead, lots of steep lines to ride.
Well, honestly, the body language doesn't look heartbroken. She looks like she's having fun, and sometimes and a method there at the bottom. So Estelle Rizzolio just letting go of the pressure and all of the stacking emotions that go into the Freeride World Tour. Definitely, finding herself in a difficult situation there, and it is rare on the Freeride World Tour, but this Wildseeloder face, the way it's shaped up this year, and we heard it from Andrew and from you, who's competed on this face as well multiple times, it's so convex, it's super blind, and putting yourself into those spots correctly is really difficult. And we saw Estelle, unfortunately, getting herself into a spot that she was not able to ride out of, but this might have been the move of the day.
Yeah, quite quick feet with the agility, making her way off that cliff band.
That's where you're grateful to be in snowboard boots. That would have been a different story, I think. Very difficult in ski boots. But Estelle with a big grin on her face as we see no score there. The board comes off. It is going to be a no score for Estelle Rizzolio, the French rider. But as the first rider down of the day, she will still take the hot seat as we make our way through the rest of the snowboard women's field. Back up to the top of the Wildseeloder, Fieberbrunn Pro Snowboard Women underway here. You can see the Alps in the background, this absolutely spectacular backdrop to the top of the Wildseeloder face. This face, iconic on the Freeride World Tour. 20 years plus that it's been used for freeride competition, and year on year it changes, it modifies, it evolves based on snowpack and weather and all kinds of stuff. So you can see in the background there, Ana Martina is standing on a razor's edge. The south face is getting blasted by the sun. Snow just unable to hold on. As we are looking at Nuria Caston, the Spanish rider, she has 2 podiums to her name, and right now she is in a virtual tie with Audrey Hebert. She is currently below the cut. Audrey is just above the cut. Whichever of them comes out ahead likely will take that carryover spot into Verbier. This woman is certainly capable of delivering a big performance here with the pressure on her shoulders, doing it for the Spanish crew, 27 years old. Nuria has become a bit of a regular on the Freeride World Tour, 5 seasons, taking the win last year in Verbier and Georgia, a great season, and then second in the Extreme, a huge season last year for Nuria, and she's looking to put herself back in the mix to be in Verbier this year and to be on the tour for 2026.
As you said, not a competitor to ever count out. So much energy, strong riding, really stays center on that board as she makes her way down to this very sunny side, which now the snow has probably changed quite significantly than from the ski women.
Yeah, absolutely. The sun definitely having an effect here, which is why this was crusty earlier on in the morning. Now it's starting to get a little bit of the heat from the sun as Nuria, following the tracks from many of the ski women and from Estelle, popping her first feature. It's so important to get that first feature underway and just feel the energy from your board, feel the way the snow is reacting to your board. We're getting our 2 goofy foot riders in the field right out of the gate, first and second. So I don't know if there's an advantage or disadvantage of being goofy on this one. There's not a lot of traversing, so it may not come into effect for the snowboard women. But Nuria Caston now getting into the heart of things.
Making her way through this sunny side of the venue in the couloir, but quickly she'll go into the shade. Looks like she's lining herself up for the first, now her second hit of the day.
Yeah, Nuria Caston taking on this lower section. Now, we know from the ski women that it's a challenging exit from this part as she goes way, way over. There is a little seam there, or there's a huge air. There's also the route that Estelle took to get out of there, which it looks like Nuria may have inadvertently followed that track as she finds herself in the same pickle as Estelle Rizzolio, and now she's going to move back. There's some big cliffs looming underneath Nuria. She needs to traverse on that heel side to get out. You can see what's underneath her, and I don't think she wants any part of that right now.
Definitely not, but it's huge on that side, but it doesn't get much smaller on the other side either. This is a full commitment zone. But we'll see if she inspected well. Sometimes inspecting means making sure you have option A, B, and C. It looks like she's able to follow some of these skier women tracks. The same line that Ari took, a little bit less of a committing air.
Yeah, and there you can see the landing's a bit better on that side as Nuria pops into the air. Clean landing. So definitely a bit of fluidity, Doc, for her route finding there. But once she was back underway, clean and solid. Arcing now. You can see this snow is actually holding up quite well as it actually sprays off her board. And then she's going to come down into this lower section where it changes again. We saw the ski women struggling a little bit in the low section. The rider's left side, which is below Nuria now, was a bit better, but definitely difficult, and with only 2 edges instead of 4. But Nuria is still finding features down on this lower section.
Yeah, and it takes quite a lot of skill set mentally to be able to, revert, find a new line, and stay strong in riding through this.
Yeah, the mental fortitude and resilience required to just stay on point and recognize that your run is not done until it's done. And challenging conditions for the snowboarders here, I think more so than it was for the skiers. But Nuria managing, she's so strong on her edges, keeping that edge engaged and letting the board kind of just loosely float and bounce underneath her, letting the legs take the work as she releases into the fall line now and out into the flats. Nuria Caston approaching the finish.
Never over till it's over, but making her way through the finish line is in sight. Still playing with the snow on her way down.
Yeah, and a smart approach there, getting out a little further right, not being in the tracks, as I think those tracks are pretty well established.
Fucking hell.
Well, there you go. That tells the entire tale.
Little line on the way. But pretty good. Holy moly.
Holy moly.
Yeah, this is her exiting out an exit that I don't believe she was planning to ride, but she stayed on her board, narrowly missing that rock just to her left from the forerunner. So again, really impressive the way that she, she'll certainly get docked for missing her line, but she showed that she can work on the fly and continue down. Definitely did not fall. We'll see what the judges have to say about her run.
Yeah, you could see line and fluidity definitely a bit lower there for Nuria. So a 63-point run for Nuria Caston. That is going to move her into the hot seat.
Where's Estelle?
Yeah, just checking in.
What do you mean?
She doesn't even know that a no score was possible in snowboarding. That's how rare it is. But Nuria Caston with a little bit of a navigational error in that run, but ultimately keeping it clean, keeping it solid, and managing, as you said, Hadley, the sudden new plan as she found herself in a bit of a tight spot, but got out of it and got out of it clean. So with that 63-point run, she takes over the hot seat. We hear the countdown from the starter, 30 seconds to Banff's own Audrey Hebert. Audrey with a really strong start on the tour this year, landing herself on the podium in the first event. And with a couple of fourths after that, she finds herself in fourth place, just on the uphill side of the cut. Her battle is almost directly with Nuria Caston. So we'll see how this shapes up. Nuria with a clean run, but definitely a big fluidity issue. If Audrey can keep it clean, she definitely has an opportunity to stay on that good side of the cut. Audrey, extremely experienced at the Freeride World Tour. You look back, 2018, she has a second in the Val Nord Arcolis Pro, and then she's got a third this year. 2017 in the Verbier Pro. Audrey had her early career on the tour, went back and competed for years on the qualifiers and challengers, always coming, way up at the top of the field, and back on the Freeride World Tour and having a blast this year.
Yeah, such strong rider. I am on the edge of my seat. It's really a battle, 500-point difference between these two riders, and both looking to go to Verbier and both deserving to go to Verbier.
Yeah, absolutely. So Audrey Hebert, she's extremely talented at banked slalom. She did one in Navoriaz in between or right after Val Thorens before she went home. And she is over further on the riders left. We saw a few of the ski women in this shoot. And Audrey Hebert now making her way into this really technical section. There's nothing but huge cliffs below. So you have to be so precise with your board placement and your edges to keep control through this section.
And control through the roof, making fluid work, but never stopping, no bobbles. Really nice riding from the Canadian rider.
Yeah, and good scoping there, as that little stripe of snow was the only available exit from that section. So Audrey Hebert, you could see up in the steeps there, she was moving a little bit slower, but fluidity not going to be docked if you're moving quickly relative to the terrain you're in. I think that's the key aspect of this. And Audrey now looking over so far, all three of the snowboard women kind of falling into the same trap, getting a little bit too far left in this section. So Audrey with a pause, but recognizing it early and now following Nuria's track on that traverse back over to the slightly more appetizing exit of this part of the Wildseeloder.
Yeah, really interesting to see all these riders getting hooked up. And again, it's a game of how well can you adjust? How well can you recover?
Now Audrey is going to need to kind of find her landmarks as she slides down on that heel side edge. You can see she's taking it in, trying to line up her angle and trajectory for takeoff, getting all the way down to the edge and off the nose, landing clean for Audrey Hebert. So some challenges here for the snowboard women in a bit of route finding, but all of them, when they get to the place that they meant to be in, able to execute it well.
Yeah, interesting. Nuria, goofy-footed rider. Audrey, regular. Not sure which one would be more comfortable hitting that cliff that you probably inspected but not had as your #1 game plan. But Audrey making quick work of this bottom, finding a few more bonus features as she makes her way down towards that finish line, but still quite a lot of riding below her.
Yeah, it's still a long way down. And Audrey over on the rider's left side of the gully where the snow seems to be a little bit friendlier, adding a couple more features. That's 2 more that she had on this side that weren't available to the riders that were on the other side of the face. So now Audrey Hebert coming down next to the gully, the classic gully move in the Wildseeloder face, not really in play this year. You got to pick a side and then stick to it. But Audrey continuing to stack up features to add to the line score. So very interesting here in snowboard women so far, as this rider and the previous one locked in a battle to get on the good side of the cut, both of them with significant fluidity issues. I'd say it looks like a few more features maybe in the arsenal for Audrey Hebert as she got over on that rider's left side, but still a challenging trip down the Wildseeloder face.
Yeah, a few more features. Her riding through that top gully, that steep gully that we only saw 2 ski women, was probably a little bit stronger. But I don't know if I would want to be a judge today on this one.
Yeah, the decision's out of our hands. We're just the cheerleaders here for the Freeride World Tour, Hadley, Hammer, and myself. But we are watching Audrey Hebert, the third rider in the snowboard women's category, one of 3 categories that will run the Wildseeloder today. Ski women, snowboard men running today. Ski men being put on hold. It's been determined that the face is not going to support all those riders as we eavesdrop here.
I got lost in the same place you did. It looks so much different. Yeah.
Well, there you go. That's the story as we look back here, Hadley, at the replay from this feature for Audrey Hebert, using that heel side edge to get down and then finding a nice takeoff and a smooth landing.
Yeah, she definitely landed that one perfectly, and finding a lack of bomb holes, which that cliff has seen quite a bit of traffic from the ski women. Let's see how these 2 lines stack up. Again, we are the cheerleaders, which is very true. So much love to these riders. And yeah, Audrey picking up quite a few more bonus points as she went to the other side of the venue that's only seen Astrid.
So good control there. Definitely going to be a significant dock in fluidity from our judges team as we look at the Mammut line tracker there. Audrey going into that couloir up high and then making her way down. She said,
What happened? Like, I saw you following her track, and then I was heading out where, like, oh, yeah, shit,
the score dropping, so a 60 even. So Audrey Hebert into 2nd place, just behind Nuria Caston. So we'll see what that does as we make our way through the rest of the snowboard women's field. But challenging so far for this group as we head back up to the top. Nuria right now on top, Audrey Hebert and Estelle Rizzolio. That is your top 3, and the rare no score in the snowboard category. We don't see that very often, but certainly the right move for Estelle as she had really no other option to get out of there.
Yeah, exactly. A no score, but we are heading right back up to the top. Another, you know, 1st and 2nd has quite a bit of room in between them, but it's not out of the question for Michaela to get herself on the podium and into 1st place.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And Michaela riding a wave of confidence
Michaela dropping in 10 seconds.
with 2, well, a 1st and a 2nd back-to-back in the last couple of Freeride World Tour events. The pride of Newcastle and Kalgoorlie, Australia, having a blast on the Freeride World Tour. We got to meet her parents last night, and she was, or they were just so stoked on what their daughter is doing on the Freeride World Tour. Michaela Davis-Meeh now sitting in 2nd overall and starting her campaign for glory here on the Wildseeloder in the Fieberbrunn Pro.
One of 2 riders locked in for Verbier, but don't make that don't get confused. She is still planning on going full throttle, full gas, making all those viewers at home thank you for being awake at a crazy hour of the day to support your rider, Michaela, heading towards her first feature.
Yeah, popping off that, getting the grab. So Aaron style points already on the table. Michaela Davis-Meeh, regular footed rider, now up on top, and you can see the board's bouncing in the snow, and it's starting to turn into those roller balls instead of the fluff that we saw earlier. Now Michaela entering this maze where route finding is so critical, and we've seen some of the other snowboard women struggling with the route finding as they got a little bit lower down. Some features on are available under Michaela as she comes to the edge of this corner. We were calling this the side hit and ski women, and taking a big chunk of it, Michaela Davis-Meeh using the heel side edge to get back in control. That was fantastic. As snowboarding is tough in these conditions, but Michaela showing why she's sitting in second overall right now on the tour.
Exactly. Really strong riding, really good speed control. Great fluidity, not making that same mistake of getting lost, knowing her landmarks, and we'll see her exit out of this cliff band that runs the top third of the venue.
Yeah, and Michaela is on track to be in the right spot right now, which has proved challenging for the snowboard women's category so far, but she knows exactly where she is now. She needs to eyeball the landmarks and make sure that she avoids the bomb holes from the ski women and the other snowboard women and the forerunner that have all previously been through here. Lining it up, getting right to the edge, popping off the end. Perfect transition to the landing. Solid, solid effort on the upper section of the Wildseeloder for Michaela.
Really nice riding. You can see she popped and was able to clear even further past those original 2 bomb holes. Really great technique, control, exciting riding out of the second place finisher so far of the overall standings.
Yeah, so still not done, though. You can see how far that finish arch is from Michaela now. You know, you can take a breath in that transition section where it gets a bit flat, but then you got to get right back into the mindset, into the red zone, because Michaela Davis-Meeh is not done. She's getting across on her heel side edge. You can see the board bouncing around. All the squats and gym work that were done preseason are paying off now, as Michaela really looking just to get through this section clean, and she does, avoiding those tracks that can catch the single edge on a snowboard, and now just trying to keep it clean as she approaches the finish. You can see there's so much more texture to the terrain at the bottom of the Wildseeloder than we've seen in other years. It's a thin snowpack, so all the terrain just has a lot more to it than it does normally. But Michaela on the toe side edge and across the finish line, popping into the finish, and that is a very, very solid effort on the Wildseeloder for the Newcastle rider, Michaela Davis-Meeh. All right, let's go back up and take a look. I really like this approach, getting the judges' attention right from the start. We saw the other riders off the smaller side of that Hadley, but Michaela biting off a big chunk of that first feature.
Big chunk, and like you said, this is one that we even saw the ski women have to really work on the speed control coming out of this, and on a snowboard, even more challenging. She was able to shut it down, maintain control, and then set herself up for this next air. And again, going way past those first 2 bomb holes, stomping it strong. Really great riding out of this Australian-based rider today.
Yeah, using the tail of her board to pop, you know, almost in the style of an ollie, loading up the tail, putting her board level in the air so that you're balanced through your flight path. Really, really smart riding for Michaela Davis-Meeh as she shares a hug there with Nuria. All right, well, here we go. The judges have spoken. And the score dropping a 78-6-7. So Michaela Davis-Meeh taking over the hot seat. And she likes it. We like it too. And hopefully the folks back in Newcastle and Kalgoorlie, as well as her adopted home of Revelstoke, enjoying the show there from Michaela Davis-Meeh as she moves into the Dina Star hot seat. She's got three riders left, so nothing guaranteed yet for Michaela, other than her place above the cut, as she will be going to Verbier in the 2026 World Tour.
It always feels good to not only get off and down this mountain, but into a comfy chair as you wait for the rest of the athletes to come join you.
Sitting in this gorgeous Austrian sunshine and vibing, bopping.
Head on the feet, always a good day.
Yeah, there. You know, one of the aspects I really liked about that was the patience when she hit the side hit into the chute. She didn't throw her board sideways too quickly, and we've seen from other riders that can bounce the board out from under you. Back up to the top we go. This is the 2024 Freeride World Tour champion. She's at a rocky road this year. Arianna Sauvé riding out of Roslyn, BC. Home mountain at Red Mountain, a gorgeous little spot in the Kootenays. Back home in Canada. Arianna Sauvé needing to just find the flow, find the vibe that she had last year. She said she's been having a hard time accessing the same mindset that she took in last year. A little bit of pressure as the world champion sitting on her shoulders. But now Arianna Sauvé on course and looking to make a big splash on the Wildseeloder.
Yeah, it's a little bit sometimes easier to come in when no one knows you, no expectations, you can wow everyone, and a little bit harder when that target is right on your back. Everyone's competing against your last year's standing. You saw first, second. She knows how to podium. Let's see if she can do it here today on the Wildseeloder.
Yeah, and competing against herself a little bit too, just trying to find the right headspace where she can be free of the pressure, free of the expectations of a world champion, and just snowboard, because she's good at that. Arianna Sauvé now entering a slightly different entrance towards the side hit that we saw Michaela Davis-Meeh make such nice work of, getting on the heel side edge, going a little bit more out to the rider's right. There is a feature there as well, and Arianna popping off that. A little bit of a control issue there. She butt checks. You can see that heel side edge, when they dig it in, the board just bounces around underneath them.
And these riders, they have so much exposure below them. They've really got to be on these edge-to-edge control. The only way out is in air. Arianna making her way down, following her close friend Michaela on the tour with the same line.
Yeah, getting out here. This is where you got to aim into that little notch of snow as Arianna finds her way, popping over that little kind of bushy rock section, and now the big air beneath her looming. She's got to get the trajectory right as she bounces all the way to the edge, a little bit sat down, and Arianna using that heel side edge to direct her, and she's clean
through the avalanche debris. A nice way to hold on to that, making her way in. Again, they get a little bit, few turns to breathe, to recalibrate, and to continue down. We still have a lot of riding below her.
Yeah, and that debris section, you know, just makes you hold your breath as the riders are flying across it, and you hope they don't clip something underneath. We did hear from the forerunners that the debris, while it's firm, it's not ice, so the nose of your board will bust through it if you hit it, and Arianna was clean through there. Now she just needs to get through this lower section. You can see the snow conditions really change on this part of the venue. There's a bunch of old tracks. It hasn't snowed here in a while, so those tracks did not get covered up, as Arianna using the heel side edge to direct herself and also control her speed, holding on to the speed, and now getting into the section where she should be able to, let go a little bit more and just embrace the pace as Arianna Sauvé, the 2024 Freeride World Tour champion, heading down towards that arch. It still seems like such a long way, and you can see just the scale of this face. A tiny dot is Arianna Sauvé at the bottom as the mass of the Wildseeloder just looming up above, as Arianna Sauvé now across the finish line.
Yeah, I feel like this venue there's a reason why it still exists. It's one that really separates the riders that can make it, you know, nearly 600 meters all the way down. That's a lot of riding and a lot of terrain to move through.
Yeah, it is. And for Arianna Sauvé, if she is in the top 3 here in the Fieberbrunn Pro, there's a chance that she makes the cut. It's not guaranteed here. As we look back at the replay, Arianna's approach to this, all the snowboarders, definitely a bit of a rocky approach into this air.
Yeah, you see that with the video judge scoring a little bit, digs on the control, but using that heel side edge, and she certainly stomped it on the way out.
Yeah, and there was a control issue higher in the run as well, as Arianna losing the heel side edge up there. So video judge on point. And it's one of the tough parts about being a judge. You have to be ruthless with the criteria. The riders are matching up to those 5 categories, and each one of them is their own separate piece. And so control definitely a little bit dinged. The rest of the run solid for Arianna Sauvé as we see her path down the mountain on the Mammut line tracker. She's trying to catch her breath, seeing her good buddy there, Michaela Davis-Meeh, sitting in the hot seat. Score jumping up to a 66 even, so she moves into second, just behind Michaela. So a bit of an indication there, those control issues, not you know, on the relative scale of the route finding issues that we saw from Nuria and Audrey. So behind Michaela, but above Nuria and Audrey. We'll see how it shakes out as we still have 2 more riders to go in snowboard women. All right, that's where we sit. Michaela, Aaron, and Nuria Caston, that is your 1, 2, 3. But make no mistake, the 2 riders left at the top are powerhouses, and this is where you can hold on and buckle up. Anna Martinez, riding out of Chamonix, France. She has 2 silver medals already on the tour this year, and sitting in 3rd overall. She's going to want to cement or improve that standing right now. She's, you know, if she steps over Michaela in the event, it's possible she could move above her in the overall, but she's going to be looking to move her way into Verbier. If she finishes anywhere in the top 4, she's guaranteed a spot in the finals. Even outside of that, depending on the permutations and combinations, she still has a very good chance of finding herself competing in the Verbier at the Extreme. But right now, it's all about the Wildseeloder and the Fieberbrunn Pro, as Anna Martinez getting things started with an air at the top.
This is a venue that's perfect for her. Strong, bold rider. She has the strength. She has the power. She can hit big cliffs. And she's really good at just always staying right on top of her board. It's rare to see her make any control issues.
Yeah, the physical strength really coming into play as Anna Martinez opening up a new section of the Wildseeloder for the snowboard women. This big gully sees a lot of action in ski men. We didn't see too many of the ski women going down there, but Anna getting herself into this gully, making her way down. One of the hallmarks of this, there are a few less features available, but the snow is definitely better over there.
Yeah, probably the best conditions you can find, and she's now gotten 2 airs. A little bit of a control issue coming out of that one, but staying in the shadow, keeping her board in the fall line, making her way down.
Yeah, so you can see the pinch coming up where the couloir kind of closes with rocks on either side. Anna Martinez getting out onto the left side and eyeing up this feature below her, releasing the heel side edge. Looks like the snow is tough in there. You can see the board not really penetrating into the snow as Anna gets up and over onto this buttress. There's no easy way out of this section. She is over a huge chunk of terrain and clean out of it. She's got some bumps underneath her that she needs to hold on for.
There you see her France Chamonix heritage coming through. Tight couloir, really interesting line choice from the French rider.
Yeah, nobody else has been over here. She gets the corner of that piece and turns it into a double.
Oh, man.
Clean riding there as Anna Martinez now just trying to get control back as she pops out of the shadows and into the glorious Austrian sunshine. Nobody else even looking, so far at least in the competition, at this section of the face.
No, massive air, that double, really impressive. Just needs to make it through this dream killer section of the venue. Tricky snow, but adding a few more features into her line.
Yeah, you can see on this close-up camera angle how weird the snow is. There's all kinds of tracks, a lot of them really traversy, so the riders are perpendicular to the tracks, which makes for a much more bumpy ride. As you can see Anna's legs just flexing and extending, trying to manage all of those bumps as she's now out into this clean section. So we hold our breath as Anna heading towards the finish. A totally different take on the Wildseeloder face for Anna Martinez there.
Yeah, a lot of creativity, really interesting line choice. We'll see what the judges do with this. Anna Martinez through the gate into her friends. You can hear the crowd excited to have her down at the bottom. I'm sure she's excited to be down at the bottom. Derek, walk us through this line of Anna Martinez.
Yeah, so a strong start. You can see she caught perfect transition on that upper air. And then as she makes her way into the gully, you can see it looming down there below her. One of the things in the judges' criteria line, so she didn't have as many features available, pinning it out of that section. And then I think the bulk of her line score coming down below. As Anna making short work of that upper section, and even on either side of that couloir, the snow is different. So Ana Martinez really just trying to find something in this way riders right section. As you can see, the up and over, and then this one popping off the corner of that one and straight over the bushes there, and then holding that heel side edge. Ana had to use every bit of her training to stay upright on that part.
Yeah, really full commitment there, not throwing it sideways and giving herself the space to ride that out. Really interesting line.
Yeah, I think on the line score side, the judges probably going to prefer the more lookers right side because the riders are over that exposure the entire time, and then the mandatory air to exit. But all smiles in the finish for Ana Martinez right now, sitting in third overall. Michaela Davis-Meeh, the rider, in second overall, sitting right next to her in the hot seat. So this really has a head-to-head aspect of this battle as the judges now locking in on the criteria, deciding what they're going to do. They are getting to work. You can see Commissioner Lolo Best, Laurent Gauthier acting as head judge. Skiers are head judge for the snowboard panel. Snowboarders are head judge for the snowboard panel. For the ski panel. So they flip roles there as the score there for Ana Martinez a 59, and she moves herself into fifth so far in snowboard women with one rider to go. So that's a big challenge fended off for Michaela Davis-Meeh. But there is another huge one there up at the top. The shadow of Noemie Equy cast over the snowboard women's field. This young woman has made short work of her first season on the Freeride World Tour. She has 2 wins and a second already. Those are her 3 counting finishes. Riding, recently moving to Val Thorens in France. She had a great showing at her home event, and Noemie Equy now looking to back up that performance. She's wearing the golden bib. That comes with a lot. It comes with some confidence that you're doing great. It also comes with some pressure, as now all of a sudden your rookie season is starting to take the shape of potentially a championship season. Solid start here for Noemie Equy as she is going full speed. Probably the fastest we've seen any of the riders take on this part.
Definitely making quick work of this venue. Nice air into this committed chute. Again, she has exposure all below her, has to stay in control, make use of the venue, but also stay on her feet. And like you said, this is potentially championship in the making for this French rider.
So Noemie Equy, if she wins the Fieberbrunn Pro, she will be world champion today. So she's got the pressure of that on her shoulders, and right now making her way in through this lower part, the closeout couloir. You can see the snow cascading over that air, over that cliff, as Noemie puts the board into the fall line and immediately back into control, using the heel side edge as a brake, as Noemie still has more features below her. We know she's worked with Marion Arti. Marion, the absolute master of leaving no feature undone. Oh, Noemie!
Huge double, so strong, coming out with so much heat right through all that terrain.
Well, this is textbook riding, and Noemie Equy adding to the air and style with a 360 there and another feature. Absolutely stacking the line score points here. Noemie Equy now on the left side of the gully, but just on the left. Plenty of bushes, some airs available. We'll see what Noemie Equy can make. Finding a solid bottom section has been challenging for all categories so far, but Noemie keeping it moving. Fluidity absolutely jacked right now as she gets things in control and is moving solidly through. There's only one other track on the section of the face, so I think a really smart choice to move in this section.
Very much so. You can see it's like she's been on the tour for years, despite that she's a rookie. She knew she was dropping last after all of the snowboard women, all the ski women, finding her own tracks, getting that sunny side of the venue. Huge double out of that exit, and she's just got to make it to that finish line.
Yeah, Noemie Equy proving why she's wearing that golden bib with a masterclass in line scoping and then the execution. It's one thing to sit with your binoculars and choose a line, but then you have to go and do it. And Noemie Equy proving no issue with that top to bottom clean run. She's still got a ways to go. this flat section, especially coming from the rider's left side of that gully. It's a long flat path, almost a ski touring style traverse to get over there. But Noemie Equy now one more slash turn in the powder as she makes her way through the arch, safe and sound, to the roar of the Austrian crowd. They love that run.
So exciting. I mean, for the slope style rider, she is proving that she is at home in the steep and rocky big mountain venues.
Well, we saved that one for last, and Noemie Equy showing why she's wearing the golden bib as we look back up at the replay from top to bottom. She was on the gas, really riding with some aggression.
Exactly, and to be on the gas means you have to have full confidence in your riding, full confidence in your line choice. This double out the back end was so awesome to see. You can see here from the venue, just full commitment into that fall line. There's just cliffs below her as she exits out of this top third of the venue with such a spectacular double.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Control absolutely maxed to the end of the bar. The video judge loving what we saw here from Noemie. This double so committed. Boom, boom, and now you got a tree and a rock just edging past that rock. But Noemie Equy putting her board exactly where it needed to be. Frontside 360. That run had everything. I think it's a nervous moment for Michaela Davis-Meeh now, as this young woman showing exactly why she's leading the tour in her first season on the tour, really not letting any features go unused. The Austrian crowd loving what they're seeing out here. We've got a great group. Noemie now anxiously waiting. Michaela's going to be anxious too, as now the score coming in, the judges comparing that run to the criteria and to that. And Michaela, 83.33. Noemie Equy into first place. That is a massive, massive result. And her best friend, travel partner, and riding buddy, Anna Martinez, flying out there. Big hugs.
And if the math is correct, this is her winning run and will bring her into the overall champion no matter what happens in Verbier. We'll double check, wait for those numbers to come through, but what a run. Full gas, full commitment.
Yeah, that was spectacular for Noemie. Looks like the tears are already starting to flow.
My second time crying today.
Wow, it's great. You got to have friends here. As we look here at our our event scoreboard, Hadley.
So Noemie coming in with that solid first, 83 points. Michaela right behind her. Erin Salve jumping up to third. We have Nuria and Audrey, that battle. Nuria coming in fourth, and then Audrey right behind her in fifth. And then as we continue on, we have the final two riders of the day, Anna Martinez, and unfortunately a no score for Estelle Rizzolio, but all happy to be here. What strong riding again today.
Yeah, ramping up all the way to the end. There you see the podium for the Fieberbrunn Pro. Noemie Equy with another win under her belt. Michaela Davis-Meeh with another podium. That's going to rocket her and really cement her spot here on the Freeride World Tour. Erin Sauve bringing it up to third. So we have things in play on both ends of the field here, both for the cut and for the title. These three women doing their part on the Wildseeloder as the math, the abacus is going nuts behind the scenes as we see exactly what happens here. So 30,000 points for Noemie Equy and Michaela Davis-Meeh, Anna Martinez, and Nuria Caston jumping up over, well, for sure over Audrey Hebert, but just over, almost making it there, Erin Sauve. So the qualification line for Verbier, the Spanish rider, putting herself on the good side. Audrey Hebert down in sixth, and Estelle Rizzolio. Incredible moments here from snowboard women. We are going down to the finish with our new Freeride World Tour champion, Noemie Equy, locking down the title with one to spare. That was a magical run. Noemie, talk us through that run from top to bottom.
Wow. So hard to find the... it was like last minute decision of run, like just an adaptation competition. And I'm super happy to choose this line. It was a bit technical at the middle with the couloir and all the slough. But I'm super happy to manage to stay on my feet. It was kind of a challenge. And yeah, it's a bit emotion for now.
And Naomi, again, you won today, but has it set in that you have won the overall?
Yeah, I think so.
Congratulations. What strong riding today.
Thanks so much.
All right, a huge congratulations to the 2025 Snowboard Women Freeride World Tour champion, Noemie Equy, following the footsteps of her mentor, Marion Erti, with a dominant performance here. Stay with us. We're coming right back with Snowboard Men. Welcome back to the Fieberbrunn Pro. We are 2 categories down, 1 to go. Fieberbrunn, Austria, the backdrop here in the Wildseeloder, giving us an electric time here. We've got a new Freeride World Tour champion crowned on the hallowed slopes of Fieberbrunn. My name is Derek Foos. I'm here with Hadley Hammer, and we are ready, Hadley, for Snowboard Men.
We are indeed. Remy coming out of the start gate. Number 1, Michael Mon right behind him. He needs to get over that cut line. Our previous stop winner, Cody Bramwell, in 3rd. Then we have the current champion, Victor Delarue, starting in 6th as we move down his good friend Camille. And then we rounded up Jonathan Penfield, John Powell, and Liam Rivera coming in 12th. So stacked. I've been on the edge of my seat all morning, and I imagine I need to stay there the rest of the day.
Yeah, absolutely. The edge of the seat is all you need. As we look here, the Peak Performance Fun Bet fan favorites, 92% of you feeling that Victor Delarue will land himself on the podium. Cody Bramwell rocketing up the standings with that victory in Georgia, 45% of the vote. And Liam Rivera with 39%. Peak Performance Fun Bet, your opportunity to get in the game. It is fantasy freeride. Make sure you cast your votes before the events. Once the broadcast starts, it is too late. I just realized I forgot to vote this morning. So I will be going way down in the Peak Performance Fun Bet standings, but that's okay because it doesn't matter. I'm just sitting here, Hadley and I, the cheerleaders, keeping you up to date with all the action of what's going on in the Fieberbrunn Pro. This will be the last category of the day. The event organizers electing not to run ski men today, feeling that the field previous is too big given the snow conditions on the Wildseeloder, and seeing the rocks in the bomb holes we've seen from ski and snowboard women right now, feeling like a pretty good call, Hadley.
I think really smart, really respectful of the riders' safety long term, and still really creative. I think it showed that they were able to get off what they could, and we've had such a good show this morning. It's, you know, for low tide, we have had excellent riding.
Yeah, heavy sends as we look at our first man in the start gate for Snowboard Men. This is Remy Benamo riding out of Zinal, Switzerland, an untapped gem in the Swiss Alps. And he has been solid so far on the Freeride World Tour in his first season, sitting in 4th overall, still well in touch with an overall podium. Remy Benamo out of the gate and kicking things off with a wave to the friends at home in Zinal as he gets things going for Snowboard Men here on the Wildseeloder. And Remy going out with some intensity.
Going out with speed, sitting in 4th, and if he stays in 4th, he has his ticket booked to Verbier. He wants to ride in front of his countrymen. Fast work of this top, first air, staying strong on his feet, and an electric way to begin.
Yeah, Remy is such a powerful rider, you know, first year on tour, but he's been really making a splash in this world-class field as Remy Benamo in the gully, looking to add some features, line score, wanting to stack that up. We can see this feature, that sideways triangle. Remy getting the backside 3 off it, reverting a little bit of a stop there on the heel side edge, but keeping it flowing, keeping it fluid, and adding to that air and style score as Remy Benemo is moving with some pace into the lower part of the upper section of the Wildseeloder.
Exactly. You need to find that tree. That tree is such a good icon of location, and he is making his way off on this cliff. Huge air, so strong, as if he didn't even leave the ground. No control issues for the Swiss rider.
Yeah, Remy lining up his trajectory perfect to reconnect with the snow and going out here onto the left side of the gully. The snow a little bit friendlier over there. We saw a couple, well, one rider in the snowboard women's field and one in the ski women's field go over here, and you can see Remy able to actually hold some speed, which on the other side is difficult, and he's got an air lined up below him, popping, using the tail, getting the grab. Solid run for Remy Benemo to open up snowboard men.
So nice. You know, I think it's really smart, as you said, being on that sunny side. It is like spring break here in Austria, and you might as well go with the temperature, with the conditions, instead of fighting against it. Great riding out of the Swiss rider, and what a way to open the men's snowboard category.
Yeah, that was really impressive from Remy Benemo. The 360 on the on that side hit, really smart line scope in there at the bottom. Had a little moment there. We worried, but that was a really strong campaign opener for the snowboard men and for the Zinal Switzerland rider. Waving. The Swiss crew has come out in droves here to support the friends. Remy's been traveling with an entourage this year, and you love to see the friends getting behind these riders.
There are flames, there are flags, there is flair on their heads. Quite a showing here.
All right, looking back here, Remy getting things started with a bang with this 360. We'll see what the landing was like. You can see on the judges' bars a slight dock in control.
But
oh yeah, there we go. That's why. A little bit of a butt check on the heel side run out.
Exactly, but doesn't slow him down, exiting out of that, committing air and perfect stomp as he makes his way to the sunny side and picks up a few more points.
Yeah, the approach to this one, needing to be in control, popping off the tail, shifty, getting the grab, and Remy Benemo, so really adding to the air and style there. And this one didn't see a ton of action. We only saw Astrid Chelus off that. And Remy making very short work of that and then just pointing his board into the fall line, accepting, embracing the speed as he locks in the first run from snowboard men. So the judges are going to set the tone, set the bar here with the scores, as we have an extremely stacked field of talent up top. 75-6-7. Good score there for Remy Benemo, as you can see him smile as he sees the score. Going first, sometimes you see the scores come in a little bit lower, but the rest of the field will be judged in relation to the run that Remy just put down.
Waving to the biggest fan club on the tour, without a doubt.
Okay, next rider, have so much fun.
All right, well, back we go, and the message from Michael Mon to the rest of the crew: have so much fun. Michael Mon is locked in a wild tie down near the cut with Liam Rivera, Tim Schroeder, Cody Bramwell, and him. They're almost all on equal points right now, so it's going to be very interesting. Michael just has to do his part and let the math take care of the rest, as Michael going out with some heat, looking to lock in a podium result here and cement his spot on this Freeride World Tour. He said this is the 7th time he's competed on the Wildseeloder, so experience counts here for Michael Mon as he gets things going in the snow way up high on the Wildseeloder face here at the Fieberbrunn Pro.
Making his way to that high section of the first air, is really committing, and as Andrew said, really blind coming into this air.
Popping a really well executed double there. You can see him having to ride over the bushes to access that feature, but Michael making very short work of it. Back across with the back three, clearing the entire feature. Huge so far from Michael Mon as he is looking to lock in on this upper section. Michael now in the gully. There are features below them, or sorry, below him, but challenging riding over here on this part of the face.
Yeah, we saw this difficult for Ana Martinez. Not as good a snow as I think the riders were hoping, even though it's been protected the longest, but
Michael finding the side of that. That's so flat there, as you can see him just getting compressed, and he is one of the strongest riders on the tour. So if his leg's unable to handle that, that tells you a lot. And the negative tracks there, we have had some crosswind on this part of the face. So Michael Mon with some spectacular and some difficult. Now coming into this feature, you can see what it looks like underneath there. This has to be executed perfectly for it to work. And it is! Michael Mon!
Perfect indeed from Michael Mon. That is a massive feature. That one can be such a dream killer. Right at the bottom, he's really just got to make his way through this, again, tricky snow, but great way to execute that bottom air.
Yeah, now Michael Mon, you can see what the snow looks like underneath. Another 360, and that one landed absolutely bolts. So Michael Mon doing his part here on the Wildseeloder. He wants to be up on the uphill side of that cut. He wants to be in Verbier, where his mountain goat skills can be on full display. And a solid performance there from the American rider coming out of Denver, Colorado. And wow, snowboard man really bringing the heat there.
You can see him holding his legs again. He's in 8th, and he has to get 3rd to lock himself in, and anything below that is still a bit of a question mark.
Well, look at this. Michael Mon traversing through the bushes to get this feature, turning it into a double with the grab. So air and style just maxed it. Look at the approach to this thing.
I mean, so blind in the way he was able to just snipe every single part of that. Really impressive. And then we see this massive 360 transfer, the first transfer that he'll do, and leading him straight into another.
Yeah, so Michael Mon bringing the air and style to the game, finding the takeoff. This is the flat landing that he got a bit compressed on, but bouncing up. So little docking control probably from the judges, but not much else. Fluidity pretty much unchecked there. The board just bouncing out from under him. That one is flat.
Yeah, and this one is massive, and it's hard to tell on your screen, but the snow under there is really probably the worst of the venue.
Yeah, and then another back 3 there. That one absolutely perfect. So air and style really maxed out for Michael Mon, bringing the freestyle into the big mountain, but keeping the big mountain vibe. Top to bottom, really strong run for Michael. The judges now comparing it to the category, or to the criteria as well as the run of Remy, and they liked it. 80 points for Michael Mon, and he likes it too.
Oh, the vibes here. I mean, these riders have been through a long winter together. You see the vibes growing. They're all becoming closer friends. The support between all of them raising and raising higher.
Michael taking on the hot seat. Now we go back up to the top. This man fresh off a win in Georgia. One of the most talented, most stylish riders on the Freeride World Tour. A rocky start to his season as he wasn't quite able to put the runs that he wanted down. And finally, in Georgia, we saw prime time Cody Bramwell, the UK rider. Truly a man of the world, lives in Greece in the summer, coming out of Åre, Sweden. He is loose, he's ready, and he's going to be finally riding that confidence that we know Cody kind of thrives on. When he's feeling good, the possibilities are absolutely limitless for Cody Bramwell. He had a slump, as many riders do. It happens. But Cody Bramwell now looking to back up that win in the Georgia Pro here in Fieberbrunn. And this has been, in the past, somewhat of a happy hunting ground for Cody.
Yeah, such a strong rider. He's going off of those vibes he found in Georgia. Really felt refreshed again. The podium feels good, and he's able to interject that into his riding and come off of this with speed, with energy.
All right, so Cody now passing by the section that we saw Michael Mon going into, opting for a different direction. Big back 3, landing precise. Incredible what he's above, lofting off the side hit, getting the heel side edge on the board into the snow to regain control. Cody Bramwell making short work of this section. And as you see on the lower section of your screen, there is no easy exit to this part of the Wildseeloder.
Not at all. Such strong board control and lining himself up over a huge section of this cliff.
Double, triple stomped. Cody Bramwell with incredibly precise execution on that part. He had to be picture perfect or that wouldn't have worked. I mean, the exposure of the rocks, of the bomb holes, of everything else underneath that, as Cody now into the lower section, getting the grab and holding speed where other riders have had to slow down so much on this part.
Yeah, the day is not over for Cody, but such a strong top section, making his way through, seeing if he can pick up a little bit more to add to his score. But that triple might be all that he needs as he comes through the final section. The finish line is in sight for this rider. What a run out of Cody.
Yeah, that was incredible. That's got to be the single move highlight so far of the snowboard men's field, as Cody Bramwell, as we said, confidence is everything. And coming off a win after a couple really tough finishes for Cody Bramwell, that is going to be extremely heartening for him as he is into the finish. Wow, well, Cody Bramwell making short work of the Wildseeloder face with a really dominant performance there on the run here as we look back, getting things started with a bang. The exposure that he is above there, that is so critical that works, and Cody Bramwell made it work.
Every air that he took required exact precision, exact sniping of where he wanted to go. And he did this so high on top of the venue with just rocks below him.
Yeah, that kind of commitment is really often rewarded by the judges as there's no room for error. Cody lining this one up at the bottom, popping through and turning it into a triple. That was incredible. And then he looked on the run out like it was absolutely no problem. So balanced over his board, and the commitment to the speed there. Oh, and Michael Armand loving it too. These guys, you said, you know, they are compatriots. They ride together. They cheer for each other as well. But right now, Cody and Michael both in the mix there on the cut line. So Cody with the win in Georgia, as we see now the score coming in. What's it going to be? 84-3-3. So Cody Bramwell now takes over the hot seat, the revolving door of the Dina Star hot seat. Michael Armand congratulating him, as I think we're seeing back to the regular schedule Cody Bramwell programming. A really, really solid run there here at the Fieberbrunn Pro.
Nice to have you back, Cody. And again, if he stays in that top 4 or even top place, he is on his way to Verbier.
So Cody Bramwell, Michael Armand.
Next rider, Conrad Nelson dropping in 10.
Remy Benamo, as we go back to the top, Kiwi rider, but riding out of Buttermilk in Aspen, Colorado. This is Conrad Niven. He's the captain of the USA Whitewater rafting team. He's got the most majestic mullet on the Freeride World Tour, I'd say by a pretty long stretch. And Conrad Niven now looking to make his way down. He's had a rocky ride here on the Freeride World Tour so far, 10th, 12th, and 9th. If he can stay on his board, we know he has the talent, or keep his board on the snow, we know he has the talent to compete at this level. But it is hard to break into the top ranks of the Freeride World Tour.
Yeah, we'll see what he does today. I think he has a little bit of freedom because the only room he has is to go up. See him taking that first air, starting his run on the Wildseeloder here in Austria.
Yeah, and Conrad often picking out really unique lines as we see him moving through this tiny ribbon of snow up high on the face where we saw Michael Armand going. And Conrad airing over that, just tail pressing over those exposed rocks and bushes on the landing. And now Conrad Niven into the heart of this rider's right gully, finding another feature he could pop off, using that heel side edge to control his speed. This gully goes forever. It's definitely a terrifying place to be on this huge mountain.
Certainly is. The key is to stay on the board, entering into the gully.
The drone flying over the back of Conrad Niven, lining up these features. We saw the one at the bottom of this cause a little bit of a bobble for Michael Armand. We'll see if Conrad takes that one on as well. We know it's flat. He's got Michael's track to go off. He does, pointing his way in and just clipping in. That was maybe a really smart way to take that, as we saw Michael Armand pump off that one and unable to hold on to the landing. So Conrad Niven now transitioning from the upper to the lower part of this massive competition face in Austria.
Great edge-to-edge control from this rider. We've seen it before. This is his chance to show it off. He's got good technique when he's in the right mindset.
Yeah, Conrad working as a snowboard instructor there at Buttermilk in Aspen, Colorado. So you know the technique is on point as he's now into this part where technique really matters. Conrad just trying to avoid those bushes as we see a lot more vegetation exposed on the face than we've seen in other years. Getting on the toe side and moving across. Conrad now able to let go and put his board into the fall line to wrap up his campaign on the Wildseeloder.
You see the New Zealand rider. He's got his eyes on home, making his way to his friends, enjoying that last run here in Austria.
Yeah, so Conrad on the downhill side of the cut. Using, oh yeah, carving into the finish, laying a trench. You can see even down there the snow not quite releasing from the grip of the overnight freeze.
Hey, first one of the year.
Yeah, first one of the year for Conrad. That's what he needed. And by first one of the year, he means first stomped run of the year. As we look here back at the replay, Hadley on that upper section. Slightly different take on that feature than we saw from Michael Mon.
Yeah, a little bit of a safer option than what Michael Mon went. Able to have the time to see his landing, unlike Michael, and then it's all style into the finish, closing the circle. You see that Mammut line tracker as he made his way down the venue.
All right, well, here we see the bigger picture of the scenes at the Freeride World Tour.
You can book lessons at Aspen Snowmass. Request me, you know. Maybe you can learn to do that, or like way better. Yeah, maybe.
All right, little sales pitch as the score comes in for Conrad Niven. He's moving into fourth,
Great, thank you.
just behind Remy Benamo so far. As a high five for Cody Bramwell in the hot seat. Snowboard men bringing the fire here on the Wildseeloder face at the Fieberbrunn Pro. This is the 5th stop on the Freeride World Tour by Peak Performance for 2025. The first time that we've gotten 5 stops before the cut. Previous seasons, the cut has been before Fieberbrunn, so it's great to have the entire field here at the Fieberbrunn Pro and the cut looming over all of it. So a lot of pressure on some of these riders to perform well today. As we look back up, Holden Samuels, the pride of Moonlight Basin. Little message for the friends at home. Moonlight Basin, Montana, riding at a Big Sky. A massive podium performance for Holden Samuels back at Kicking Horse. This man is certainly able to get it done. And Holden, he opened the field in Georgia, now dropping in behind a couple of really solid runs. Holden going out with that trademark speed.
Going out strong. He wants to be in Verbier. He has a shot. It's definitely not over for him yet. He's got to ride well and make a strong impact on these judges.
Yeah, absolutely. The run of Cody Bramwell is the line right now at the top. That is the bar set. Holden Samuels now coming in, up and over, trying to hold speed through the bushes, launching up, over, and clearing the rocks. So really clean start for Holden Samuels as he makes that arcing toe side turn to get himself lined up above this gully.
Great speed, great commitment, and then super control, lofting that 360 to start his way into that gully. Full commitment for the Big Sky rider.
Yeah, Holden, goofy foot rider, so back 3 on that one, same as we saw Michael Mon, and now getting out of the gully. So Holden kind of blending 2 of the lines together, a little bit of a perfect mix here, going freestyle at the top and then getting into this big mountain section. We've seen in the line scores previously, the judges like this section because it's so committed. And Holden going right off the nose, using the heel side edge and staying up. So really, really strong there for Holden, using all of the strength that he has in his body to hold that move and continuing down. Plenty more action to go here for Holden Samuels.
Yeah, he's got the opportunity with these bushes and trees to make some extra errors out of this section. He's got to prove strong riding, and he's making huge turns, adding in a little bit of extra flair into his run.
Yeah, finding more features in this bottom part that we've seen some riders leaving some features on the table. So Holden Samuels not slowing down. This is really showing the technique that this man possesses on his board, as he's got another one here floating, another back three, and perfect. Very similar on that one to Michael Mon, but a really different middle section up high. So Holden Samuels really bringing the thunder here in the snowboard men. This category delivering for us today on the Wildseeloder. As expected, these are some of the strongest snowboard freeriders on the planet, and the conditions are tough, but they're making it look easy.
They're making it look easy, really creative. He kind of took the best of each third section of this venue and found a way to link them all together.
That was not how I planned it, but...
Let's watch what he did here again. Full commitment, huge air to start his run off. Again, going far on the looker's right, but then able to move himself with this massive transfer back onto the left side of the venue.
Yeah, landing that one perfectly. Not even a hint of a bobble. Back three over the bush. We saw Michael Mon's board actually clip that one while he was in the air. And then taking this one a bit more out to the right where the landing's a bit cleaner. You could see the body compressing there. Holden leaning on his strength to get him out of that one.
Yeah, these athletes take their physical preparation so seriously, and it's for moments like this when you need to just hold on, stay on your feet.
Yeah, finding more features in this lower zone that other riders have struggled to even just to get down. So Holden Samuels adding Aaron style there with the grab, and then another transfer, another lofty back three, clean landing, pressing the tail of the board in, and then just releasing the fall line. You can see the Mammut line tracker. He was all over the place there, but each of those traverses was in search of a feature. So fluidity going to be high, and Holden is happy there. Now, things are in the judges' hands. It's up, and 81. So Holden slotting in just behind Cody Bramwell and putting himself into second place. So solid performance there from the Montana rider as he's looking to cement his spot in finals. This is where we sit. Cody Bramwell, Holden Samuels, Michael Mon is your top three, and we are just approaching the halfway mark of snowboard men. So plenty of action still to come here at the Fieberbrunn Pro. We move back up to the top. You can see the Austrian Alps just spread out behind us. North face is looking good. South face is a little sun affected, and by sun affected I mean the snow has melted off them because it is warm as a fresh piece of toast up here. Spring break in Fieberbrunn. The fans gathering, absolutely loving. The biggest squad for sure, cheering for Remy Benamo as he travels with entourage, as we are back up to the man in the golden bib, three-time Freeride World Tour champion. This is the situation now in the top three. Victor De La Rue holding it down on top. John Penfield and Victor's good buddy Enzo Nilo in third. That's the overall. With a win here on the Wildseeloder, Victor can cement his fourth world title. But he's got a big task ahead of him as Cody Bramwell threw down the gauntlet. But Victor De La Rue never shies away from sending it on a Freeride World Tour face, and I have a feeling that we're going to see the same from Victor today as he gets counted in from the starter. And Victor De La Rue is on the course. You can see the ridge top there, the snow starting to soften up a little bit. Hadley, it was pretty stiff earlier on today, but Victor now getting things underway.
Making his way on. I think, you know, the girls set the tone, going big for the day, and this is a rider that will pull inspiration and want to match that huge Aaron style set by the women.
Yeah, Victor following in the tracks of Michael Mon and Holden Samuels, popping up and over. It looked like he had a tail tap on the rock, but on purpose, I think. Victor rarely does anything by accident. So Victor De La Rue getting things started. We can see the upper section of that gully where now he has to choose a direction, going front three there above all that exposure. So committed for Victor De La Rue as he puts himself now above the rocks, above the cliffs. No easy way out for Victor.
No easy way out, and making quick work of this top section, lining himself up for the air that we saw the other riders hit.
Slightly different trajectory there as Victor goes around, but clean and solid there now on the toe side edge, and he digs that toe side edge and goes down. Oh, Victor de la Rue with a really unexpected bobble.
Unexpected, but he is not done yet. He's got a cliff below him, turning into a double. Full commitment in that terrible snow. Riding strong, riding fast, and heading to a place that we haven't seen any of the riders go yet.
Yeah, this is a section that in big snow years sees a lot more traffic, but you can see exactly why it hasn't seen too many takers as Victor de la Rue into the fall line, clearing the rocks, stomping it. He's got to get over that traverse track, which he does, and Victor now full fall line.
Full rodeo out the bottom of that. That took huge commitment. You can see back up there, there is a massive rock in the landing of that bottom air that he just stomped right over. Spinning his way into the finish line, the French rider, Victor de la Rue.
Well, that run had everything as he shares a moment there with the man in the hot seat, Cody Bramwell. So 90% of that run was absolutely unbelievable. And then that weird toe side edge catch.
Yeah, we see him on the top, a little bit of a rock tap. So impressive.
Yeah, pressing in that in run and the transition on. Yeah, Victor just literally riding right over the face of that rock as he pressed the tail of his board in so it wouldn't catch and slow him down. Popping 360 there. Frontside 3 over that kind of exposure is just incredible.
Yeah, and where you would normally see other riders just go that direction, he tricks that direction. And this is where we see him over this top air.
Yeah, going a slightly different direction. He gets on the toe side edge, just riding out of that. And
looked like a little bit of chunk, maybe a bit of a debris.
Yeah, and when you're leaned into a toe side edge, your mass is way out from the board. And when the board gets kicked like that, there's nowhere to go but there, straight onto your face. So Victor de la Rue with a really unfortunate result there, but then coming down here, this low section, a giant air, you can see the snow cascading off, and Victor avoiding the tree, jumping over the traverse track underneath. Really unique take on this bottom part of the Wildseeloder.
Just full gas out of that, riding strong, holding on. There's our Mammut line tracker as Victor eagerly awaits his score in the finish line.
Yeah, you know, that's going to be a tricky one for the judges. There's going to be a big dock on control for going down, but then the rest of the line was incredible. Classic de la Rue. As we see the score coming in, if he wins today, he is world champ, 71.67. So the battle for the overall in snowboard men will move on to Verbier as Victor de la Rue into 5th. Cody Bramwell breathing a sigh of relief there as one of the biggest challenges for that Dynastar hot seat. You can see it. I mean, when Victor doesn't win, or when Victor comes down and you're in the hot seat, you are nervous. But we are taking no breaks here at the Freeride World Tour. Back up to Zillertal rider Timmy Schroeder. Tim Schroeder has had a solid season. He got a podium right off the bat and then a 7th and a 6th, sitting in 5th overall, looking relatively solid. But all the way from Timmy down to well below the cut, it's nearly tied. So he does not have an opportunity here to rest. He needs to get it going on the Wildseeloder, performing in front of the closest thing he's got to a home crowd. Living in Zillertal, you know, that's in Austria. He's got a bunch of friends here. Timmy's been a busy man, high-fiving with the locals. Everybody around here definitely wants to see Tim perform well on the Wildseeloder.
For sure, and he's got to take those good vibes and then go drop into full concentration mode as he attacks the top of this face. Again, he's sitting tied for 5th, so he's got to make a good showing here today.
Yeah, and near tied all the way down below the cut. So Timmy Schroeder getting into this really technical zone, popping airs above the side hit feature that has seen so much action today. And Timmy going way higher on the takeoff, cross court, and bounced off his board. That angle, I'm not sure, quite worked there for Tim Schroeder as he was bounced out of the landing. And now getting over into, well, there's nothing underneath him but huge cliffs. And Timmy's going to need to release into the fall line if he's going to get over the rocks. He does, and now roasting down the lower section, holding on Wow, Tim Schroeder just flirting with the edge there.
Definitely flirting with disaster. There's quite a lot of debris in that outrun. It's completely shaded, and then you're blasted straight into a backflip in the sun, enjoying the spring break vibes on that side of the venue. And again, one of the fastest runs we've seen today. He is making quick work of this nearly 600-meter venue.
Yeah, 360 there. So Tim Schroeder, even with that bobble, he's still got an opportunity to salvage a good finish, and not done yet with a big air. Perfect connection. So Tim Schroeder, another rodeo ride similar to Victor, where many parts of that run were absolutely spectacular. There will be a dock on control, but a lot of the rest of it was huge. So Tim Schroeder performing for the home crowd here, German rider living in Austria, and making his way towards that finish arch. One of the best spirits on the Freeride World Tour, always with a smile on his face and always just cracking jokes. You can count on Timmy to put a smile on your face if you get to be around him.
Definitely making his way to his friends. The crowd is going wild here in Austria in Fieberbrunn.
Well, they love their snow sports heroes in this country.
It's a ride!
Let's go back up. Again, such great technique here and boosting bigger than I think we've seen today on that top. Really commitment, but maybe potentially too big as he goes for that full back slap butt drop. But quickly on his feet and making use of this air that we haven't seen, going massive into the gully.
And so perfect. That landing could not have been better. You know, we saw some other members of the snowboard crew getting lost in there. Not Tim, though, executing on that backflip. That's one of his trademarks. And down here with the front side 360, another perfect connection with the snow, and then just releasing into the fall line after this landing. So 98% of that run was absolutely spectacular for Tim Schroeder. You know, the judges are going to get to work, but really, really solid effort for the German rider.
This for all the homies, them gangsters and them. Let's go!
Well, he's a happy man in the finish area. He put down a spectacular run there as we wait for the judges now to compare his run against the criteria and against the runs of the other riders so far in snowboard men. They got to crunch the numbers, look at exactly what he did. I mean, Aaron's style is going to be through the roof there with that backflip. Is that the first backflip we've seen today?
I believe it is the only one brave enough to put it on. But again, they were really critical of Victor's bobble. Let's see how they compare that with the German rider.
Yeah, I guess if you got to dig into the details of it, Victor went down in a turn, whereas Timmy went down doing a big air. So I think Timmy's going to get the nod on that aspect of it. Of course, relative to Cody, who was perfectly clean, as well as Holden and Michael Mon. Well, not quite actually with Michael, as he had a bobble on that flat landing. But, you know, it's all in play with these folks here. The judges getting to work, comparing the criteria. You can see Lolo Bess and our video judge there, Siobhan Chalice. Siobhan also, you know, a commissioner and head judge on the Challenger Tour. So these judges know what they're looking at, and they know what they're looking for.
Making the judges work. Currently on the good side. Let's see if he can stay there today.
Timmy's got a song in his heart, coming in at a 67.67.
Next time 2 points more.
Sixth place for the rider, cruising over to his friends as we make our way back. We are not done, and this race is tight. You see Cody in first, Holden Samuels, super strong run right behind him in second, and Michael Mon rounding out third.
Yeah, and those guys really looking to have a big move here to keep themselves on the good side of the cut. Camille Armand, the next man riding out of Chamonix in France, another one absolutely capable of delivering victory. He's got a win under his belt in Golden back in 2022. He was part of the title fight between him, Cody Bramwell, and Blake Moeller that year. The trademark whoop as Camille Armand now, he needs a big result if he wants to put himself up on the good side of the cut. But make no mistake, he is capable of delivering fireworks on any Freeride World Tour venue.
I mean, that's what's so exciting about the tour right now. There's really no rider you can count out to get onto that podium. He's got a 4th in the last in Georgia, so maybe he's just, you know, ready to break through and get the podium spot.
Yeah, we see Camille Armand high on the face, approaching this section, the in-run to this jump. We saw Victor get a little bit bucked by it. Camille, I think, taking a slightly more cautious approach on the speed. Instead of hitting that lip, he hits it as a cliff, clearing the rocks and clean on that part for Camille Armand, using that heel side edge to control and redirect.
So smooth, such a strong, quiet rider. You don't see a lot of bobbles out of Camille.
Yeah, exactly. Coming from just that physical strength, he's able to hold on, put the board precisely where he wants it to be, making his way down through this bushy section. It's a bit of a maze down here, as you can see the cliff opening up underneath Camille as he lines up with the landmarks. He's got a lot of tracks to follow. I think that makes it a little easier to know where you are, but then also more challenging as Camille into the air, landing, and the board bumping out with a butt check there, and you can see hands up. That's frustrating for Camille Armand, as he needed a huge one to get himself into the mix for finals this year.
Yeah, the Chamonix-based rider, he knows how to ride the steep and the deep. He's just got to make his way down through the section, bring up his point score, and really utilize the bottom part of the venue.
Yeah, exactly, which has proven difficult today, as this bottom part has very difficult and tricky snow conditions. Camille going across, trying to find a slightly more receptive snow, popping up and over the bush, taking that as a long and low, and Camille Armand now speeding down towards this transition from steep to flat as he gets out into the sunshine and has the finish line in sight.
Part of the free ride fiasco. These 3 guys, Camille, Victor, and Enzo, all having a good time, really maximizing the experience as a competitor here on the Freeride World Tour.
All right, done and dusted for Camille Armand. He sees Cody there in the hot seat. Victor coming out to share a hug. Yeah, as you said, Camille and Victor, along with Enzo Nilo, running the Freeride Fiasco crew. They're such good friends, traveling together, but all want to beat each other.
See this top section again. He took it a little bit more conservative, probably smart given the conditions and the deterioration, and so smooth, so controlled in that top section.
Yeah, Camille Armand, a standout rider on the Freeride World Tour. Nice and clean through that part, and then this is where things got a little hectic. Taking off on the bushes, landing right in the bomb hole from many other riders. It's so hard to manage the impact when you land in the compressed snow. And these bomb holes, when you get the drone's eye view, you can see a lot of them are starting to show rocks in the hole. So the impact increases exponentially there, and Camille not quite able to hold on to that one.
Certainly, yeah. It might be a day where the further back you go, you really want to commit to that speed, making sure you're over clearing everyone that went before you.
Yeah, exactly. And it's easy to say from our seat, harder to do for the riders. So Camille now waiting for the score. As we see now, the judges have inputted their data, and the score coming in at 56.33. So Camille Armand sliding into 8th. You can see the body language and the hug from his friend Victor. That is not going to do it for the cut. So that will be the end of the road for this year for Camille Armand. But this man, I mean, he's just such a standout snowboarder. Cody Bramwell, Holden Samuels, Michael Mon, the top 3 so far in snowboard, men. We still have plenty of talent stacked up at the top of this face, ready to go. And this man, no exception. He's a rookie on the tour this year, a young rider out of Lake Tahoe, Palisades at Tahoe, his home resort. First season on the tour. He got a 5th in Val Thorens with a solid run. We've seen some massive 360s from Tilden Woolley as he gets ready to kick things off, and another rider looking for a strong result here to boost himself up and over the cut.
This is one of these riders that we've seen 90% of his run to be podium worthy, full greatness, and tends to always have one single bobble that takes him down. He really needs to go top to bottom, full commitment and full execution, and he is capable of doing so.
Yeah, exactly. If and when Tilden Woolley puts a clean run down, we're going to see him standing on a Freeride World Tour podium, going high, taking this option that we've seen a few riders take, up and over, popping off and landing clean. So strong start here for Tilden. You could see his board dropping into a track from another rider there, but he managed to hold on to the balance coming in. This seems to be the American route here, going for this transfer, but not quite able to get the same takeoff precision that we saw earlier on from Michael and Holden. Holden.
Yeah, we saw Michael and Holden spin it, I believe. Tilden not able to, and now he's making his way through this side of the gully, potentially different than where the other snowboarders exited out of this face.
Yeah, kind of a similar move that we saw Victor. No, he's going into an untapped zone. This one closes out, which means there's only an air to get out of it. So Tilden now pointing his board into the fall line, off the end, landing perfectly. A brand new feature on the Wildseeloder this late in the day. That is really good scoping there from Tilden.
Really smart. Only the Forerunners track from yesterday is in there. He had to commit to that fall line, stay on top of his board, and he's still got some work to do through this bottom section, catching an air, building up those points.
Yeah, Tilden, I really like that. Dropping late in the field, the feature that we just saw Camille Armand go down on earlier has been beaten down. So Tilden taking a different line and finding himself a clean landing as he gets another feature here, tweaking the board out, making short work of that lower section. Really solid riding there from the California Shredder, as he's got the finish in sight. Tilden Woolley looking for a strong result here to cement himself into finals. He's had some tough luck, and I'm confident that even if Tilden doesn't make the cut, we haven't seen the last of them because his riding is super strong. And as you said, Hadley, he's got all the pieces. It's just a matter of putting them together, and sometimes that does take time.
Yeah, and there's, you know, careers can be long, and it's all about just continuing and using these experiences on the Freeride World Tour to build your education.
Yeah, taking a look back up, Tilden struggling similar to what we saw from Victor with that lip, but then making really nice work of it up top. And then this low section, he had to release into the fall line early and pop way before the edge of the cliff, but perfect execution on that one.
Yeah, really found the best landing that you could find out of that closeout. Mandatory air over the rocks and down into the fall line, but look how much further he has to go. That start, the finish gate, so far away.
Yeah, this is one of the longest faces on the Freeride World Tour. The riders' legs absolutely burning.
Thank you. Yeah, it feels good to stay on my feet. Always feel good. Whatever happens.
Cody and Tilden bonding over the joy of standing on their feet.
All right, well, here we go. The judges inputting the score. Score coming in, Tilden Woolley with a 64.33. So he's going to slide into 7th position here in the Fieberbrunn Pro.
Okay, cool. See ya.
Big wave to Cody Bramwell. So Cody so far looking very solid here in the field. Cody Bramwell, Holden Samuels, Michael Mon, Remy Benamo, and then Victor Delarue in 5th. That's your top 5 so far here in the Fieberbrunn Pro, but we still have 3 extremely heavy hitters waiting to go. These guys have been waiting all day to do this. They watched the ski women. They had to hike up around the backside, so it's one of the tougher hikes on the tour because you don't get to see the venue while you're hiking. Many of the boot packs, you actually can look at the features you want to hit. This one is all the way around the back. As we are looking at Enzo Nilo, this man sitting in 3rd place overall with a 4th, a win, and a 9th in his scoreline. That win in Val Thorens in front of his home Trois Vallées crowd was absolutely electric. Enzo Nilo earning his way back onto the tour this year and making the most of this opportunity. Sitting in 3rd overall right now, just behind Jonathan Penfield and his good friend Victor Delarue. He's definitely got an open door right now towards the overall. If he locks in a good score, he can really close the gap up to Victor.
Certainly, and he's proving already that he wants it probably the fastest top, making quick work and eager to get into that first air, launching himself with full control, shutting it down to make it through that double.
Yeah, and looking at this, not a transfer, just going off the nose of that one. So Enzo Nilo with a really aggressive approach into this rider's right gully of the Wildseeloder face, and he's got more in store. Nobody else wanted anything to do with that one, but right off the end, so super fall line approach here for the French rider. Oh, and he gets plugged up on a heel side turn, board bouncing out from underneath him while it was sideways.
Right on the sun shade line, the snow texture is changing a ton in this part of the venue, but Enzo with potentially the fastest run of the day, and again, going where his good buddy Victor opened up, getting one more really significant air.
Yeah, and he's taken a moment to just look and make sure he's got the landmarks and trajectory good, because there are a lot of rocks in the landing of this feature. He needs to get over, around, landing right in the bomb hole of Victor de la Rue, and Enzo getting throttled there on the outrun. Looked like he made contact with that tree. So Enzo now just doing a little bit of a systems check. Hopefully he's all right. That was extremely violent. We got the wave there from Enzo Nilo. Sometimes these riders we're waiting to see if they're okay. Sometimes they're just taking it in, kind of realizing what was happening as he got bounced really aggressively. Landed in the exact same bomb hole as Victor de la Rue. And as we saw when Victor went, he exposed a rock in that landing. So Enzo impacting directly onto that rock, getting bounced out of the bomb hole, and then making contact with the tree and that very aggressive traverse track. So he's up and riding, making his way down towards the finish. Well, anxious moments. I'm happy to see Enzo up and riding. Doesn't look like he's 100% okay. I think his head or his face actually contacted that tree on the bounce. So Enzo Nilo just kind of checking over himself. Definitely a little worse for wear, a really aggressive approach, and the top part of that was so fast, fluid, and smooth. And he is up and moving down. We'll see once he's in the finish line. As we look back here, the upper section really clean, taking a smooth, fast approach. So you can see control and fluidity down, bouncing through. That lip has really fallen apart throughout the categories here. And snowboard men definitely using it more. I love this feature, getting the grab, tweaking out the shifty, locking back into control. Enzo Nilo definitely making the most. We saw other riders taking that as a transfer, but he took it right off the nose.
Straight into the fall line. I mean, that requires so much commitment, and he doesn't have that much room for speed control. And oh,
he lands on the rock. He gets bounced here, sent head over heels. He didn't hit the tree, and just managing to clear that traverse track in one of his bounces. So a bit of a fortuitous break in that crash, as much as you can be lucky in a crash for Enzo Nilo. But happy to see him up and riding and intact at the bottom. What might have been there for Enzo is the upper section of that run really strong.
Yeah, he is locked in for Verbier, but will definitely require some rest and getting that body back in shape and the mind focused on the final result.
Yeah, and luckily with this one running early in the weather window, before the weather window actually even officially opens, he's got 2 weeks till the window starts in Verbier. So 30 points there into 10th for Enzo. Victor and Cammy coming straight out to check on him, and you can see he's definitely a bit worse for wear from that crash. So no change in the standings at the top end right now, and we only have 2 riders to go. So Cody Bramwell will stand on the podium here, and that is going to go a long way to cementing his spot in finals. Jonathan Penfield now, the man sitting in 2nd overall. He's got a serious opportunity to close the gap up to Victor de la Rue. He's got victories all over the place, including 2023 on this face. But John Powell is in slightly unfamiliar territory, as he usually prefers the rider's left side, where it's more technical, more mountain goaty, and all of that stuff is closed because it's just not enough snow on it. So Jonathan Penfield riding out of Squamish, BC, looking to get his fire stoked up here at the top of the Wildseeloder.
Newly minted as a Canadian again. He's locked for Verbier, but that he wants to get further up. And now you see the 1st place and 2nd place overall down, or 3rd place, sorry. And so Jonathan really has to make use of this opening.
Well, he's going way higher than we've seen anyone go. Always a unique take on these Freeride World Tour venues. No one else had even looked at this section. And Jonathan Penfield just billy goating his way through. He's got 2 already, turning it into 3, 4, and super clean and precise for Jonathan Penfield, using every single feature available to him as the second place man in the standings, popping up and over and airing into that gully. So a little bit slower, but within that speed, he's got so many more features in the upper section than any other rider so far today.
You said he likes the technical riding, and he found it so creative. He was looking for what he's good at as he makes his way, and you just see he's so comfortable being on either edge of his board.
Yeah, and airing above that exposure, finding another feature. Tilden Woolley went into here, but did not hit that one. And now John Penfield releasing into the fall line off the nose of that one. Clean reception again. So really smooth, like calculated riding here from Jonathan Penfield as he rides across on the toe side edge, going way, way, way out to the rider's right. You can see there are no tracks out in this section. So Jonathan Penfield, he's pioneering new parts of the Wildseeloder venue even this late in the day.
I don't believe in any FWT venue this year that anyone rode the same line as John Powell. He's so good at finding his own way down.
Yeah, and he's been really, 360 there above those huge cliffs, digging into the snow a little bit. Hard to see the detail, but now he is above another big cliff band that no one else has taken anything out of. Jonathan Penfield, look at what is below him as he makes his way now. He's got to be so precise. Looks like a big double. Fluidity starting to wane as John Penfield just trying to find the best way to get through this section on the heel side edge, putting the nose of the board into the fall line, doubling out, and he is clean. Incredibly unique line for Jonathan Penfield. So creative, so precise. He had to take that time up there. For sure the judges will notice the fluidity, but then what he did after that was certainly worth the wait.
Looking up at the venue, that is really a huge section. The biggest cliff at the bottom of this venue compared to the other side of it. And Jonathan Penfield, so creative, the ever technician. You can tell why he has been on the tour for 8 seasons.
Yeah, and the crowd loves it.
Oh God. I still take it. I thought so sketchy. You went to the holiest result of the venue.
So sketchy.
Understated as always from Jonathan Penfield. Let's look at this top section where he just found such a different take on it, and into the section where we saw other line score absolutely maxed through the roof. Jonathan Penfield not letting a single feature on this face go to waste.
No, and to make those moves so high with just a long way down, perfect execution of this, and he was not done heading again where no one went to make 2 different airs out of this section.
Yeah, getting the backside 360 there. You can see the hands getting into the snow. That is the most north-facing part of this venue. It's still powder over there. He's got to grab onto the tree or a little high five for the tree and then points the board. No room for even an adjustment for John Penfield, which makes sense why he took the time to line that up the way he did.
Totally, and he still had that traverse track even below. It's hard to tell on the screen, but he's got to absorb one more thing and make his way down to the finish line.
Yeah, so the Mammut line tracker showing just a completely unique take on this Wildseeloder face. As Jonathan Penfield, other riders struggled to find something at the bottom. He did not. He found a huge double. So Cody Bramwell on 84, Penfield up to 77.33 into 4th for Jonathan Penfield. So those runs down the middle, the fall line, high speed trick approach of both Michael Armand and Holden Samuels, as well as Cody Bramwell's absolutely blazing run on this face. Strong enough, but still he finds himself above Victor de la Rue. So in the overall, things are going to tighten way up.
Definitely.
All right, well, we have one man left. So Cody Bramwell guaranteed a silver at least, and Michael Armand we're going to see, and so I think that locks him in for finals, and Michael Armand guaranteed to be on the podium. One more rider here, and he is part of that big crew in the mid-pack, the midfield, that all are effectively tied coming into this event. Liam Rivera riding out of Verbier. We know the Swiss are out here in droves, the valet flag waving at the finish area as Liam Rivera gets set to be the last man of the day on the Wildseeloder, the Verbier rider. His technique is on point. He's super strong. He is ready to go. With a wave to the folks at home in Verbier, he is on the face now, and we'll see, let's see what Liam Rivera can do with the scraps left over from the rest of these riders.
Totally. It can be so stressful to start the category and also stressful to finish the category, but I think it's a good way to put that exclamation point on the snowboard men. He's running off of a second place finish in the last Georgia comp, so his vibes are high, his confidence is back as he makes his way through this top section.
Yeah, really technical in here. You got to be very precise with your board placement. As Liam comes down, you can see the track. Oh, and he's going the other direction with a huge air. It's so tight in that landing, and Liam landing perfectly. He's got still a bunch of exposure below him, sliding in and out of that section with no hesitation. Many riders looked at that and opted out of it. But Liam Rivera, now he's got this big blade cliff underneath him. Is he heading the other direction, airing off that? Incredible. The last two riders going completely different ways than anyone else on the face, and probably one of the biggest airs we've seen out of the snowboard men's field so far today.
Definitely, and as you said it, I looked at that with a bunch of the girls, and we all declared that it's so risky to make that top air. You really have to land it, otherwise your exposure levels are just too high, and he nailed it perfectly, coming with a 360, showing that he can do it all, and one big feature below him still.
Yeah, Liam Rivera right off the nose, keeping a fall line approach and high speed run out, bouncing, jangling, but this is where, oh, and Liam, wow, a couple of moments there in the Heartbreak Hotel zone at the bottom of this Wildseeloder face, but now pressing through the rollers, and he just has to stay upright on this long traverse. Hearts in throats right now for fans of Liam Rivera. That was an incredible way. We got fireworks going off down here. What a way to finish the snowboard men's category. Liam Rivera with another completely different take on this face and executing it absolutely flawlessly.
As he looks over his shoulder at what he just rode into the crowd, has a few family members here, full support.
Well, Cody loves it. Liam loves it too. All smiles in the finish. He had some pressure on him. Michael Mon flying out from behind the rider's screen there. All of these guys so stoked to see the others just ride to their potential. Let's look back at the top. Liam getting things started with a big air here. Nice shifty, adding to the air and style right away at the top of the venue.
And then again here, no one hit this. So I cannot express how committing this air was, going massive and perfect control on the way out.
Yeah, and that snow patch is small, and you can see what he was above there. If you miss that run out, you're going over more cliffs, and he went over more cliffs, but in control on his board. Huge air there, landed absolutely flawless, and then he had to control the speed immediately.
Takes another air out of this section to bring himself in back to the sunny side, staying on his feet, on his board. Nice 360 here, backside, putting it to his feet, stomping with one big air at the bottom to send him through this section that had quite a few wobbles to make it through.
Yeah. You can see there the board getting bucked. There's so much shape to the terrain down here as a result of the low snowpack. So the Mammut line tracker, Liam going all the way riders left, basically as far as they were allowed to go. And the Swiss fans going ballistic down there in the finish. So the judges really have their work cut out for them. We're going to see how that stacks up to Cody, to Michael, to Holden, as they are... Cody likes sitting in the hot seat since very early on. Cody dropped third, Liam dropped last. So the judges need to compare those two runs as well as the runs of the other riders sitting high in the standings. But Liam's certainly doing his part.
And as you said, between Liam, Michael, and Holden, they all needed that high, and Cody, to make it into Verbier. This is the tightest race we've had in a long time.
Yeah, and all four of those guys doing really, really well. So, I mean, we're going to see what it does to the overall standings, but there isn't room for everybody on the uphill side of the cut. The Austrian fans being treated to a show here. The old Peak Performance airbed there, full of people just lounging and taking in the sunshine, tanning it up. Get your sunscreen on out there. The sun is bright, and we are Wow, we are just reeling from the show that we just had, and Liam Rivera closing it with a bang. Now the judges getting to work the criteria, all there. Line, control, technique, fluidity, and air and style. Liam had all of those things, and you can see it from the video judges' bars. They liked what they saw. We'll see exactly where that stacks up in the rankings here for the Fieberbrunn Pro. Cody Bramwell sitting in a very comfortable position, but maybe feeling a little less comfortable after what he just saw Liam do.
Meilleur fan club.
Yeah, the Mayo fan club, the best fan club out there.
The judges hard at work today. Every score counts.
Yeah, and they're taking in every detail. You can see looking at the screen. They have access to replays, so they can look and compare and contrast exactly what the riders did out there, because it is crunch time here. The cut is just, you know, looming like a dark cloud over this event, and all of these riders want to cement their spots into finals and into next year, the 2026 Freeride World Tour. We will be hosting, or for the first time ever, the 5th Freeride World Championships in Ordino Arcolis in Andorra. Well, we get another look back here at the replay. Liam opening it up with a bang, airing up and over those rocks, and then going into this just completely uncharted section. You can see below him is where everyone else went. He chops off this little nugget, and then right off the nose of that huge buttress of rock with such a tight landing underneath. Any mistake there and you are tumbling off cliff. So Liam really backing his skill and technique with that air.
Maybe the most impressive form of commitment we've seen today.
Well, adrenaline just coursing through the Swiss rider there as he's catching up with the fans and the friends. So the tension really building here as there's so much at stake.
Here we go, here we go.
All smiles, the music is blasting. You know, the contrast between how many puffies we were all just wearing in Georgia to the bright blue sky here in Austria. You know, it's so intense, this comp, but I think the weather is really keeping the mood light.
What did John and Enzo do?
John did the like weirdest shit I've ever seen. And craziest. He went like some new shit. It was insane.
Getting Cody Bramwell's take on Jonathan Penfield's line there.
Maybe we won't hire him in the commentating booth yet, but.
Yeah, so the judges really taking their time with this one. Of course, you know, they want to get it right, and they're making us wait. Cody and Liam probably most anxiously as they're waiting to see exactly what that score is going to be. They're really, now you can see the discussion there. They're comparing every aspect of all of these runs, making sure that they hit the nail on the head as they drop the score, because as we keep saying, underneath this, underlying all of this is the cut. We have a score. It's coming in. What's it going to be? Cody Bramwell, 87. Liam, the last rider of the day, taking over first place. A huge performance for the Swiss rider as he moves into first with the last possible opportunity to do it, and the Swiss fan club going ballistic. Even Cody Bramwell was stoked on that one.
Everyone is so excited. What a way to finish this category, finish this day.
Oh my God.
Well, there we have it. Hadley, the Fieberbrunn Pro delivering, and here's what we have at the end of the day.
Liam again dropping last into first place. Cody Bramwell number 2. Holden Samuels on the podium with 3. Michael Armand right behind him. John Powell with that unique run in 5th. Remy right behind him in 6th. And then we started to see where the lines didn't pay off as people wanted. Camille and Enzo finishing 11th and 12th. Let's see where this shakes out.
Well, here we go. That is your podium in snowboard men for the Fieberbrunn Pro. Liam Rivera locking down the gold medal. Cody Bramwell finishing in second. And Holden Samuels with a huge, huge result here in Fieberbrunn in third place. So there were so many ties or near ties in the overall standings. Somebody is going home. So here we see Remy Benamo dropping below the cut, as well as Tim Schroeder and Michael Mon jumping up to the good side. Liam Rivera taking over second as John Penfield down to fourth, and Cody Bramwell up into third overall, and the lead to Victor De La Rue a little bit smaller than it was before. More points available in Verbier, so wow, what a massive shakeup we just saw in snowboard men. As we see down there below the cut, Tilden Woolley and Conrad Niven hopefully back to the challengers to re-earn their spots as we go back up, or go back to the finish. Liam Rivera, a commanding performance there, dropping last, finishing first. Unbelievable line selection. Tell us, first of all, how you're feeling right now and how you selected that line, because there was some huge risk in that run.
Good questions. I don't know what I'm feeling right now. I think I'm just a bit overwhelmed. I was not expecting to do like a winning run or anything. It's more about just staying on my feet. It's actually my first landed run this year, so I'm just pretty happy about that. And I don't think I realized just yet that I won. Yeah.
Not only did you win, you're now sitting in second place overall, going home, going into Verbier. Can you believe it?
No, it was quite a fiasco season. So, what? Am I second?
You are second overall.
All right, well, the fiasco continues. Huge congratulations to Liam Rivera taking the victory at the Fieberbrunn Pro, rocketing himself up the rankings in snowboard men.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Electric performance here from top to bottom. All three categories are wrapped. We have a world champion. We have new winners on the Freeride World Tour. Stay tuned. We'll be coming right back to you from the Fieberbrunn Pro. Welcome back. The Fieberbrunn Pro delivering fireworks. This was what's at stake from Bakira to the Beck, the capes of the qualified riders into the Freeride World Tour Finals in Verbier, as well as the 2026 Freeride World Tour Hadley. We saw everything. Today was incredible. Heartbreak and glory for the riders. Fieberbrunn, the cut, delivering the drama that we were all hoping for.
Totally. There were so many riders in every category below the line, and the shakeup, particularly in the snowboard men, where we almost saw a full reverse of that cut line. So exciting. And for the venue that they had, the conditions that they had, the riders stepped up in a huge way.
Absolutely. Heartbreak and glory on the Freeride World Tour. Now's your chance to have your say. Log on to the freerideworldtour.com website and vote for the rider of the day. All categories are in play, not ski men because they didn't run today, but all three other categories, ski women, snowboard women, and snowboard men. Whoever you thought was the highlight of the day, rider of the day, it's wide open, and it's your chance to have your say. The rider of the day, I don't even know where I would place my vote on that one. There were so many highlight moments of the day.
Yeah, I mean, I know I'm the biggest fan of the ski women, so that's where I would place it. But again, the riders across the board in every category really stepping it up and showing that they're the best no matter the conditions.
That's right, and particularly today, the women, ski women category, snowboard women category, and a special day for the women today.
It is International Women's Day, though it should be every day, but yeah, watching those women ride, cried twice, so impressive. The Freeride World Tour has put together an awesome tribute to the riders, the female riders of the Freeride World Tour.
Okay. Can you think of a woman that inspires you? I can think of many. Women who have been bold, women who have been trailblazers, women who have been empathetic. These women inspire me because they have forced me to question the status quo and made me realize I have a role to play as well.
A woman that inspires me is definitely my mom. It's because she works hard, is brilliant, she's determined. She's taught me most of what I know and how to be who I am, and I appreciate it every day.
The woman who inspires me the most is Johanne Defay. She is a surfer and she stands by her values and making the sport progress.
The woman that inspires me the most is definitely my mom, because you probably will not find this unconditional love to any other person, no matter what.
My sister Lauren, she is a mom of 2, and just leading such an incredible family inspires me every day.
I will say Marie Werty, because she one of the women who pushed the level of snowboard women, and also because she's, as a human, such a great person.
Conrad Nelson, she really pushed the boundaries and showed kindness to everyone around her in the mountains. She's awesome.
For these reasons, I believe the woman that has inspired me the most is Megan Rapinoe, because she was one of the first out soccer players and she fought for equal pay.
A great way to wrap up the day. Incredible performances. We have a new Freeride World Champion, Freeride World Tour Champion crowned today in Noemie Equy. Inspiring from top to bottom today. Hadley, that was just a magic show in Fieberbrunn.
It really was, on the edge of my seat the whole time, and I think particularly the ski women, the way they opened up this face, proved that the conditions were worthy for sending huge. Whew. What a day.
All right, well, that's it for today, but it's not it for us in Fieberbrunn. Make sure you stay tuned to all the Freeride World Tour social channels, because ski men are still on tap here at the Fieberbrunn Pro. We will keep you up to date as we know more. We're going to wait out the rest of the weather window and lock in on the day for the ski men to perform. Thank you for joining us today, and we'll see you right back here very soon in Fieberbrunn.
Thank you.